Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that like button as you come into the chat room. Also, make sure you subscribe if you are new to the platform. I greatly appreciate it. Tonight's topic, I want to go in on the recent verdict, the recent Amber Guyger, Botham Jean verdict. And I said yesterday, or 2 days ago, when she was found guilty, that we should not celebrate prematurely. And I gave the example of the Akai Gurley, Peter Liang case in New York. Peter Liang kills Akai Gurley in a stairwell in his housing project, gets 5 years probation. So I told you guys, do not celebrate prematurely. Don't get excited. Don't start popping bottles. Because I knew something was about to happen and the fix was in. Amber Guyger is only going to serve, for the most part, 5 years in prison. She's sentenced to 10. She'll serve 5, maybe 3. Even at the trial, when they announced the verdict, she was found guilty. Botham's family was jumping for joy. And I'm saying to myself, for what? She hasn't been sentenced yet. Let me tell you how this is going to play out too. This is now the new police officer retirement plan. And it started with Darren Wilson. If you have a cop, right, in a questionable murder of an unarmed black man, he or she, that cop, can now leverage that into an early retirement. Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how this is going to play out. This is all Amber Guyger has to do now. Set up the GoFundMe. Set up the GoFundMe. Write a book. She's a millionaire. So she's 32. She'll be out when she's 37. And she'll be a millionaire. She could write a book. Why did I kill Botham? What happened that night? What drove me to shoot Botham? The night I accidentally went into the wrong apartment. Millionaire, 5 years. Instant retirement. Darren Wilson got $1 million. A GoFund, well, $1 million for an interview. I didn't even talk about that. Let's talk about the interview circuit now. Let's talk about the book circuit. The interview circuit. CBS, NBC. Well, Darren Wilson got $1 million for an interview. Darren Wilson got $1 million for an interview. You don't think that Amber Guyger is not going to get offered $1 million for an interview for a case like this? Amber, Amber, this, what happened that night? Just tell me. Just tell me, buddy. Oh my God, there's just so much had to be running through your mind, Amber. Amber, so much just had to be running through your mind. Just tell us what happened. What happened that night, Amber? What happened? Just tell us. Your emotions and your adrenaline just have to be pumping that night, Amber. It's just what happened. Tell us, Amber, tell us about when you were arrested and just your thoughts, what was running through your mind. Amber, Amber, tell us about when you confronted both of them. What happened, Amber? What happened? Tell us. Amber, tell us about just when when you were arrested and charged. I mean, it's just your emotions, Amber. I mean, what was on your mind, Amber? What was on your mind? Just tell us, Amber, what was on your mind, Amber? I mean, the trial starts and you see the family across from you in the courtroom, Amber. Just tell us. I mean, just let us know what's going on. I mean, you have to, the family is just behind you, just emotional, and I mean, they've been going through a lot, Amber. You've been going through a lot, and I mean, if you could just do it all over again, Amber, what would you change? What would you change, Amber, if you could just change? If you just go back in time and change it, what would you change? And then I mean, this the day you were found guilty, and the day you were sentenced. Just what were your thoughts? I mean, the 5 years. I mean, I know these 5 years had to be tough. You had time to reflect, Amber. Tell us. 30 minutes, $1 million. 30 minutes, $1 million. She's a millionaire. Should be a millionaire now. That's why I said don't celebrate too soon. Don't celebrate too soon. And we're going to get into this. And, again, what is the end game? And let me give my disclaimer, because for some reason, I have to always give my disclaimer. I agree that there is a debt owed to the descendants of slaves who built this country. I do. I do. I do. But it's time to have an honest conversation. What do you think you're going to gain in Amber Guyger's America? So we're now fighting for, yeah. First, we want to be the top minorities in let them officer the damn law. Let them. We're gonna open a line. So the people who want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. I mean, it's time to have this honest and logical conversation. You want to be the top minority in Amber Guyger's America. I went to the ADOS website. I read it. I went through it. Nah, Janine, nah, you haven't been to Tone and Yvette's ADOS 101 website. No, you haven't. I don't even think they mentioned a check on the. In fact, let's go to the website. Let's just go ahead and go to the website now. But to sit here and be a Captain Black American because your bones are buried here, a Captain Black American in Amber Guyger's America, you have to just be just flat out dumb. I have the ADOS website pulled up. But I was going to do another show earlier today. Guys, hit that like button. Because if you think that Black immigrants are a bigger threat than the Amber Geigers of the world, and that you're going to just slide in and fill in and creep in and ease on in into Amber Geiger's America? You cannot be this dumb, because the same system that is going to going to make Amber Geiger a millionaire, number one, and give her, she'll serve maybe 5 years and be a millionaire. It's the same system that you think is going to make you the number one minority in America and give you some type of protection status. We need to stop. I mean, come on. There's a story out of Arizona today. And guys, Kyla's going to be coming on later. And then my next question is, people keep saying we're going to fight back. We fighting back. Please tell me how you're going to fight back against the Amber Geigers. I want to know. I'm asking a question, and I'm going to open up the line. You can call in. How are you going to fight back against Amber Guyger? So in Dallas, the DA is black, the judge is black, chief of police is black. Everybody in these high profile, high income earning roles, powerful roles, were all black. And I'm telling you, the last 3 days of this trial had to be the most embarrassing 3 days of a trial that I've ever seen in my life. These last couple of days, last 2 days, the sentencing. I mean, I really want to know, how does this fight against Amber Guyger look like? Somebody says ADOS are going to fight back by praying to Yah the Most High. Okay. We're going to get into that as well. I'm asking again. I agree. Reparations are owed. They are owed. But if you really think the same system that's going to make Amber Guyger a millionaire is going to make, reparations, repair, is going to make black people whole in America and give you access to the same whiteness as Amber Guyger, and is going to give you, I guess, access to resources so you'll be on the same even playing field as Amber Guyger, you are out of your mind. I don't care how you sexify it. I don't care how much data. You think they don't have the data? Do you think they already don't have the data in the research? I'm gonna open up the line in probably 20 minutes. I gotta get Kala on here. I just wanted to come on here first. Bawoni, Ekale. I just wanted to come on first. I'm saying the last 2 days of the trial were probably the most embarrassing. I mean, you had, I want to be so respectful. I'm trying to be respectful. I'm trying to be respectful. Because I know a lot of times when it comes to the buffoonery, for some odd reason, you have members of ADOS who want to blame black immigrants. I'm like, dude, come on. The amount of buffoonery that goes on in the ADOS community Don't deflect that on the immigrant community. So the judge, ADOS, is hugging Amber after her sentence and gives her a Bible. They called up, listen, to this witness, to the stand, to speak on Amber's behalf. Guys, and I'm not exaggerating, okay? When I saw this, I was like, are you serious? I was like, are you serious? I'm gonna get to the brother too, and I'm gonna get to the Kenyan police officer as well. That was like, well, Amber used to give me, when I used to when I needed to go pick up my, I guess I had some baby furniture I needed to get. Amber gave me a ride to go, and she took me to go pick up the baby furniture. Her partner, her co-worker, I think she was a cop, Kenyan lady. But what really had me, and I was so embarrassed, they called up to the stand. We're just going to say a recovering crackhead or ex-crackhead. Jay, drug addict. But she was crack. She was on crack. She said she was a recovering crack addict. They call up on the stand a recovering crack addict. The recovering crack addict says that Amber had raided her crack house. I guess she was in there freebasing. So Amber and her goons raided her crack house. And because Amber kept asking her why is she in this crack house, we know why people who smoke crack are in crack houses. So Amber was asking her, why are you in this crack house? That Amber made her feel as if she was human. That was just flat out embarrassing. They went and pulled this ex-crack addict out of nowhere to defend Amber and speak on Amber's behalf. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. Then after the sentencing is read, the brother forgives Amber and tells her to convert. She needs to become a Christian. Guys, we got to get rid of religion. I'm sorry. I know Kyle is a Christian. I know some friends are Muslim. Dude, we just got to get rid. I mean, the religion is not helping. It's not. Tells her she needs to pray to Jesus. So your brother is murdered. The killer is going to serve 5 years to become a millionaire. And that causes you to become a Jehovah's Witness in the courtroom. You become a Jehovah's Witness in the courtroom. And the same thing happened when Dylan Roof shot up the church. They was in there, forgive as well. For the love of me, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We're not in our right mind. I mean, Susan, I just don't get it. We're giving away. This lady just murdered. This lady just shows up to your. Imagine, Susan, knock on wood. Imagine somebody shows up to your house, thinks it's their house, but it's the wrong house, comes into your house, kills you, what they say they call it, a zipper? Is that the when you shoot somebody to make sure you kill them, kill shot, a zipper? Bam, 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 bam. Doesn't administer CPR or anything, let you die. It's part of the cover up with the department. Because trust me, there's more to this story. It's a cover up. There's more to the story. I'm gonna put that out there. I know it is. Gets tried, found guilty, is only going to serve 5 years, become a millionaire, and you want to give her a Bible and tell her that she needs to become a Christian? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And then you want to say your bones are buried here in America so you could, I guess, get on Amber Guyger's good side? I mean, I don't know. How does this play out? My bones are buried here. We fought in every war since the American Revolution. Just so you could hopefully access the same whiteness as Amber Guyger? Or here's my favorite. We're going to fight back. Against how? How are you going to fight back? I mean, I'm going to open the lines up soon. How are you going to fight back against Amber Guyger? I just want to know. I want to know. Like, I'm being sincere right now. Mufasa, thank you. There are plenty of Christians in jail. All the religions are in jail. They could have administered and prayed for her in jail. I mean, this is just embarrassing. You know, I'm reading the ADOS website and what they're asking for. I'm like, everything you ask for as far as opportunities and jobs and set-asides, the judge is black, the DA is black, the chief of police is black. And still what happened? How did it play out? So you might get access to white money, but you're not getting access to white power. That's what it is. You want access to white resources, but no power. That's what it is. That's what it is. Access to resources. But what's the point of having the resources when you have no power to control them? That's the end game. That's the end game. You want access, shout out to Malcolm X. You want access to the resources, but you're not going to have access to the power, which really defeats the purpose of having the resources. And then who's going to control the resources at the end of the day? The people that are going to decide to give you the resources and who are going to control the resources are the same people that are going to make Amber Guyger a millionaire and only give her 5 years for murdering somebody, and they're going to the wrong apartment and murdering somebody. Again, the check is owed. The bag is owed. See, Red, you want to call in? You can call in. The check is owed. I'm not saying it's not. It's owed. But just get your bag. And again, wanting to integrate into Amber Guyger's America. How do you think? I mean, it's 400 years. It's 400 years. And you really think you're going to reinvent the wheel? MG, they don't have no money. They don't have no. That's the basis of the argument. We don't have no money, and Amber Guyger's folks is going to give us the money. I mean, we're owed it, absolutely. But I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, who's going to sign the reparations check in the bill? The same folks that are going to make Amber Guyger a millionaire, and she'll serve 5 years. That's what I'm saying. And what kills me, whenever I talk, all of a sudden people are African experts. Oh, Dennis, what about Africa? What about in Nigeria? Everybody becomes, now they all of a sudden they're African experts. What about the Chinese? All of a sudden they're African experts. What about the Chinese and Africa? And those are the excuses those are the Negro stalling tactics to justify trying to be I don't know, the number one minority. There we go. Passport-less experts. There you go. Passport-less experts. There, everybody becomes a passport-less expert on Africa when we start having these discussions. Yeah, everybody becomes a passport-less expert when it's time to have these discussions. What about Africa? What about the Chinese? So because of Africa and the Chinese, I'm going to see what I can get out of Amber Guyger's America. Then you bring up, okay, listen, have Black people ever been treated equal here in America over these past 400 years? No. Have Black people built a nation? ADOS. Yeah, it's called Liberia. But they would ignore the Liberia part, the nation that ADOS built, where they controlled their own destiny. They would have ignored that to justify trying to see what they could get out of Amber Guyger. I'm serious. You know that they don't talk about Liberia, where you can control your own destiny, where you ain't gotta ask or beg Amber Guyger for nothing. You control your own destiny. You don't want the Black immigrants to come in. Guess what? You could stamp the passport. You control everything. They don't want to talk about that, but they want to go to Amber Guyger and say, well, Ms. Guyger, our bones are buried here. Our bones are buried here. So here's our list, Ms. Guyger. Can you please approve this, Ms. Guyger? Miss Amber Guyger's America, can you please approve this? Versus, guess what? We built our own nation called Liberia, where we can control everything. But you don't want to do it. You don't want to deal with that or acknowledge that. But you want to go to Amber Guyger and say, Miss Guyger, can you approve this? Can you approve this, Miss Guyger? Can you approve this, please, Miss Guyger? Please approve this. Can you please, Miss Guyger, make us the number one minority in America? Because our bones are buried here. Our bones are buried here. We fought in every war. So can you please make us a number one minority? Pretty please. I'm just saying, there's a country where we controlled our own destiny. So I'm saying, why not shoot for that again? Because we've done it before, versus trying to convince Ms. Guyger to allow you access to her whiteness. That's all we're doing. We're trying to access Amber Guyger's whiteness. That's the end game for ADOS. We want to access Amber Guyger's whiteness versus controlling our own destiny. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's the end game. I mean, that's the end game. Which brings me to another story. So I'm gonna share the screen real quick. I found this interesting. Well, not it's actually sad. Hold on. And give me one. So, guys, make sure you hit that like button as you come to the chat room. Please hit the like button. Here we go. I got this right here. It's just, you know, you hear the language of these Captain Black Americans. They blame the Black immigrant for everything. And it's like, dude, listen, the people who have benefited the most off of the blood and sweat of ADOS and who are exploiting the system are not Black immigrants. White women, Hispanics, Asians have benefited the most and have not reciprocated. But you guys don't want to focus on them. You want to focus and deflect to the Black immigrant. And I'm going to show you something. Here we go, guys. I want to read this article. Now, this happened not too long ago in Arizona. I think it was actually a couple days ago. All right, I'm just trying to check something out. This actually happened a couple days ago in Arizona. So a Black photographer, right, was walking down the street in Arizona, right, was walking down the street. And 3 Hispanic kids, white Hispanic kids, non-Black Hispanics, went up to him and called him the N-word. The Black photographer, ADOS, told him that, don't call me an N-word, you're not Black. You know what they did? They shot him 9 times. A Black photographer found himself fighting for his life after telling 3 teenagers to not use the N-word, and he happened to be live streaming during those terrifying moments when he was shot a total of 9 times. While I was on the ground, I was just praying and asking God, not now. I was just saying, not now, not now, the photographer told Fox 10 on Sunday. The unidentified photographer was taking pictures at a park in Phoenix, Arizona on September 12th. When recording the complex, 3 teenagers asked him to take pictures of them. They could be seen in a live stream as the photographer. So he was shot 9 times by 3 Hispanic kids because the photographer told them not to use the N-word. And man, just how this behavior started happening. And this is a whole nother show. I mean, Black people in California just got way too comfortable. And they allowed non-Black people to say the N-word. And we know these non-Black people could care less about the Black collective. I had one of my Black friends once tell me in California, it's okay for non-Blacks to use the N-word because they struggle just like us. I'm like, come get out of here. This is the mentality, and that's why for the most part, Black people on the West Coast, it's a wrap. Ain't no reparations, access to Amber Guyger's whiteness is saving the Black people on the West Coast. So again, these Hispanics shot this black man 9 times, almost killing him. 3 teenagers asked him to take pictures of them. They can be seen in the live stream as the photographer told them that he would not charge them. During their interaction, the teens began using the N-word, which rubbed the man the wrong way. My man, I told you can't say the N-word. You're not black, the man said. I said, what the F I want, one of the teens responded. No, you cannot. Not in front of me, the man continued. Then it would appear the teens did not stop as the man reiterated. Didn't I tell you not to say the N-word? Didn't I say that? Then gunfire erupts and the camera fell to the ground. The 3 suspects fled the scene without taking the camera that contained their picture. The photographer mustered up the strength to call 911. After being shot 9 times and miraculously survived, according to Fox 10, he still has a bullet in the shoulder. It's a complete miracle that at a blessing cause, a lot of people have been shot only 1 time and they didn't even survive, he said to the Fox affiliate. Ricardo Mendoza Sanchez and Angel Ortega Romero, both 18, were arrested along with a 17-year-old. Complex reported that Romero attempted to pull Black and Brown Coalition. Black and Brown Coalition. Oh, what did they say? Oh, the white population is shrinking, and the white people are going to be a minority, and then us Black and brown folks are going to take over America. What Black people are really saying is, we can't stand white supremacy English, but we are okay with white supremacy Spanish. That's what they're saying. That's how that translates. After executing a search warrant on 2 homes, police discovered methamphetamine, 4 handguns, and a ballistic vest. They were charged with aggravated assault, misconduct involving weapons, resisting arrest, and gang activity. But the victim did not believe aggravated. So listen, this dude gets shot 9 times. This black man, ADOS, gets shot 9 times. And they only charge the Hispanics with aggravated assault. They only charge them with aggravated assault. There's a black lady in LA who said the Hispanics get amnesty, Black people get 3 strikes. So they shot this man 9 times. They only got aggravated assault. I mean, it's a joke. And I'm just trying to figure out, please, someone, please, explain to me how accessing Amber Guyger's whiteness, because our bones are buried here, are gonna stop that. He was Caribbean, whatever. And don't give me the politics. Don't give me ADOS, we got to get in politics. I'm going to get into that. I'm Super 79. I'm going to get into that. I don't want to hear about the politics. This Amber Guyger trial, you got a black judge, black DA, black chief of police. I don't want to hear it. But so the Hispanics shoot this man 9 times, right? Shoot him 9 times. You had a situation in LA as well where Hispanic gangs were firebombing ADOS homes and running them out of their homes, out of the community. But damn it, the biggest issue is, per the Captain Black American, African immigrants, they do powwows, right? And they call all the ADOS Akatas, and they're trying to figure out a way to ensure that the Akatas don't get into Harvard and Yale. That's the biggest problem on the agenda. That's the biggest problem. You have ADOS getting firebombed by Hispanic gangs. okay, getting firebombed by Hispanic gangs, ADOS, getting ran out of their communities. Predominantly black communities at one time, Hispanics are running them out physically, firebombs. You have this brother who got shot 9 times by Hispanics. But per ADOS, the Captain Black American, per the Captain Black American, the slave trading Nigerians who come to America powwow on Wednesdays and Thursdays, eating agusi, calling all the ADOS Akata and sabotaging them so they can't get into Harvard and Yale. That's the issue. That's the issue. That's the problem. That's the number one problem. That's the number one problem. I'm just regurgitating what I hear by the Captain Black Americans. Yeah, Latinos are out here killing and shooting ADOS. But damn it, those Nigerian slave traders, those African slave traders who are now immigrating to America and getting to Harvard and Yale are the biggest threat to ADOS survival. Not the Amber Guygers who are trying to access their whiteness, not the Latino gangs who are literally killing us and shooting us at will and just getting charged with aggravated assault. The African immigrant slave traders are the biggest problem right now and biggest threat to the survival of ADOS. And ADOS, they're going to access that Amber Guyger whiteness so they can show the African immigrant slave trader what's up. See, African immigrant slave trader, yeah, you call us a kata. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to Amber Guyger and see she going to give us, some set-asides so we could tell y'all, y'all need to step back. See, that's what we're going to do. And see, that's what we're going to do. You see, we have no clue what we're going to do about these Latino gangs who are shooting us 9 times at parks, are firebombing our homes and running us out of predominantly black neighborhoods in LA. I don't know what we're going to do about them, but you African immigrant slave trader, I'm going to go to Amber Guyger tomorrow. I got her on phone dial. I got her on speed dial. I'm going to reach out to her. I'm going to call her. I'm going to call Amber Guyger. I'm going to call her. You know what I'm saying? People that empowered Amber Guyger and going to make her a millionaire and get her a book deal. And, she's only going to do 5 years, maybe 3 years in prison. I'm going to call them so they can empower us. So we could tell the African immigrant, you better not go to Harvard and Yale. You better not go to Harvard and Yale. That's what it is. That I just summed it up. See, we're going to tell Amber Guyger, the people that empower Amber Guyger, so you're going to tell them, don't let them, the African immigrant slave traders come over here. See, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And then listen, I'm not saying, are there cool immigrants that come over here? Absolutely. I never said they're not. There aren't. I've never said that. Are there some coons that come over here? Absolutely. Are there some clowns that come over here? Absolutely. Guys, hit the like button. We have almost 400 people watching. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. Absolutely. But damn it, we're trying to sit here and act like the black immigrant is the biggest issue. Oh, no, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what it is. We want to ensure that The African immigrant slave trader does not get access to Amber Guyger's whiteness because the ADOS, whose bones are buried here in America, that access is reserved to us. There it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. See, Red, I'm not, guys, listen, I'm about to send a link out. In fact, let me get a Kala on here. My bad, Kala. I mean, that's what it is. Let me get Kala on here real quick. And then ADOS, please call in and prove me wrong. Kala, I just sent you the link. My bad. I had to kind of roll solo because I had to get that off my chest. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. And again, I agree that there is a debt owed to ADOS. I agree. By definition, I'm ADOS. But Dan, you want to fight and argue and you swear that the African immigrant, you know, they sit in circles all day and call ADOS a content. That's all they do. They're going to take all the, university slots at Harvard and Yale. That is the biggest threat to ADOS survival. But the Latinos, oh, I want to check. Oh, absolutely. I would love an ADOS check. We deserve it. I mean, again, like I said, there's a debt owed. But trying to access Amber Guyger's whiteness, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Colin,
Hey, what's going on, bro?
hey, what's going on, Colin?
How's it going? How's it going?
Go ahead.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you doing your things. Your time, brother. It's your time. Yeah. Yeah, what you were saying was true. But like I said, we did a show about this like a year ago called Jockeying Position for, under white supremacy. That's all it is.
Right.
People are jockeying for position. Everybody's trying to see how they fit in under white supremacy. You got people and I'm gonna say this, right? I know a lot of people who hate ADOS are gonna hate me for saying this. Like ADOS people are gonna hate me regardless, All right, now there's some legitimate things so-called ADOS says, right? But the ADOS is willfully being used by a hidden hand, right? I didn't want to believe this before, right? But it's like almost everything that happens in Black America, there's a hidden hand somewhere pulling the strings. Pulling the strings. In other words, what I'm saying is this: of all the things you could be concerned about, right? Does it really bother you that Nigerians are getting into Ivy League schools on black scholarships when the fact of the matter is that we're not taking advantage of these opportunities? Does it bother you that Caribbeans are getting into Haitians? All these people are dominating Howard University and everything. The whole idea was we're all together here in the West, right? As black people, right? And one hand washes the other. That's what I always believed in. If you're black, you live in America, you have the same struggle. Now, what they want to do was redefine what is black in America. That means you're from the plantation. Now, a question was posed when there was I told you about this. There was a talk show host named black conservative talk show host named Ken Hamlin. You probably don't remember him before your time. This is back in the '80s, right? The late '80s. And everybody used to call him Uncle Tom and all stuff like we used to Ken Hamlin, we used to call him Coon Hamlin and stuff like that, right? But then somebody did an expose, right? And they noticed a pattern, right? They noticed that the black people who were descended from the Caribbean, like I don't know if you know Niger Innes, Congress Racial Equality, Roy Innes, that family, core Congress Racial Equality. And you have several other people. Major Owens, he's the father of actor Jeffrey Owens. You know who Jeffrey Owens is?
Mm.
The one that was at that was used to play on the Cosby Show.
Go ahead.
Jeffrey Owens. Okay, this is important. Jeffrey Owens, the guy used to play on the Cosby Show. Remember they saw working at Trader Jack. Remember? And they outed him. Anyway, his father was Major Owens, a congressman, right? And he was a staunch conservative, right? But all these people, right, had one thing in common. They came from the Caribbean. And so the question was asked back then, it seems like black people that come from the South, right, and come to Harlem, come to New York and everything, that we have this intrinsic bitterness, right, that has not gone away. Whereas we have people from immigrant background tend to be more educated, tend to be more assimilated into America. Now, that's not their fault. I said this before, right? I said that's not their fault that America has opportunity and the black people in America, we have this idea that we're gonna somehow we're deserving of everything in America, but we don't want to do the things that it takes to fit in America. And white people are sitting back saying, we got the resources, we have the ultimate power. We're gonna decide which one of you blacks succeed, right? Simple as that. The whites have decided, okay, we're going to give more partiality to these black immigrants, right? But instead of attacking the whole system that has white people still in power, we're going to, and not only that, white immigrants, black immigrants, you have Mexicans who benefit more from our struggle, right? You have Chinese, you have white women, all these other people, right?
Right.
But we never say anything about that, right? But
now we might here and there, but then
not like this. Not like this.
But the majority of the focus is on the African immigrant slave trader.
Right. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. So you're gonna get mad at a Nigerian who's gonna work, get these good grades, work hard, and everything, and succeed in America. Whereas we tell you, other people telling us that black people, we tell ourselves all the time that there's no opportunity in America. That's another thing that goes on. We say that there's no opportunity in America, but how is these immigrants are making it, and they're building families? If you go to any college graduation, right? I went to my nephew's high school graduation, right? And most of the black people I've seen out there with their kids and everything like that, mostly immigrants. They spoke, you see the French language, everything like that, from the Caribbean, everything. Big on immigration, big on education, right? And that's reshaping, defining what is black in America, right? It used to be a time where anybody that was black could assimilate into a black America and be part of us, right? There's no difference. You could be, you live here, you speak our language, you share in our culture and everything like that. You become part of Black America, But now it's like, these ADOS people want a distinction, and I asked the question, okay, like the topic of the show tonight. Why do they think they want a distinction? Because they really believe in the end game of white daddy is going to always triumph, right? They don't see that there's more benefit of linking with Nigerians and Africans because Africa is a future.
I would just say, Kyle, I said that the other day. Just okay, ADOS, Black American, is the most visible people on the planet. Nigerians are the most numerous. If we were to come together, we could take over the world. But you
understand something.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
Why? Because we believe the white man's invincible. We've been taught the white man's invincible. We've been taught the white man's invincible, and that this is the end game and everything. And so,
hold on 1 second. Hey, C-Red, See, Red, you gotta turn down the background noise. It's messing everything up.
So he just got to pretty much cue me in. I have to pause it.
Man, see, okay. The Captain Black Americans, I swear, when you guys call in, your Cricket 1Gs be messed up.
No, they're disruptive.
I mean, it's every time. See, Red, are you ready? Are you ready, See, Red? All right, come on.
The mic is muted.
See, Red.
We can hear you.
All right, go ahead now. Go ahead. You got it together now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
See, Red, you got to turn down the background because it's the echo. It's replay.
I got you. So what's the issue here?
No, you say you want to.
Hey, Diners was just ranting for an hour. We're talking about the ridiculousness of ADOS and all stuff like that. We can start right there. What do you think?
I think that for us to put people in a monolithic category, so like when we're talking about millions of people, that's dangerous. If there's particular groups, right, that we have issues with, that's one thing. But all ADOS don't think one thing. And that's
I disagree. First of all,
how can you disagree?
Outside of social media, I don't hear ADOS being discussed.
You're talking to me right now. You're talking to a person who's a descendant of ADOS right now.
Okay, all right. Let's define that. You say descendant of what? American slaves, or you African slaves?
We know that we're African slaves, bro.
But then the title says American slave, American descendant slave.
That's because
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this will simplify something for me, right? Do you claim America as your? Everybody has a claim of homeland, ultimate homeland, right? I believe that America has a lot to offer Black people, but it's never going to be home, right? Okay. It's never going to be home for Black America. 400 years, 4,000 years, this land will never be home, right? This republic is a white republic, and everything is based on the white man's manifest destiny, and all we are is living on the excesses and the heel and the fringes of this society that you're deluding yourself by thinking that you're part of. Am I wrong?
I think that's a generalization.
Well, how's it a generalization? That's actual fact. How can you deny that?
Because we have citizenship in America.
Okay, you have citizenship, but there's all different types of citizenship. First class citizenship.
No. See, let me speak.
It's just settling.
Kyle, let him come on. Right. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, so how I feel about being an American really doesn't matter. I'm a citizen of America. I do love Africa, like most African Americans, even though the media says something totally different. I'm from Detroit. I went to a predominantly Black school. I went to Malcolm X Academy. So I love my culture. I hear throughout, even my friends from Nigeria say stuff like, oh, well, Americans think that we're booty scratchers and this, that, and the third, which isn't true. We fought for African American studies. Okay. We fought for African American studies at U of H. We fought for it at ASU. So the perception of what an ADOS is a misconception. And so I'm telling you that I don't think it's a problem for a person whose parents have died in slavery to want to fight for reparations and consider themselves citizens and fight for equality.
That's a double conundrum. You cannot do it. How are you going to fight for reparations?
No, that is very clear. That was extreme clarity in what I'm saying, brother. What I'm telling you.
You know what I think? You know what I think? My personal opinion. I don't know you from Adam or not.
Okay.
The sad part about it is, right? You had 400 years to make your case about being American.
We did not have 400 years to make our case.
Bro,
we were enslaved.
Even when the first Africans were
No. Let's go back to this 400 years to make our case. We were enslaved.
Hey, did I let you? I just let you talk, man. I don't
my bad. Go ahead.
If I can interject real quick, it is 400 years because per ADOS, we've been here 400 years and our bones are buried here. So
yeah,
we cannot make a case.
All right. Hold up. Right now, we've been on this continent in North America, English America, 13 original colonies, 400 years, right? 400 years of hell, right?
Okay.
400, during that 400 years, there were always Black people who basically, when America was founded, right, fought in the American Revolution, believed in America and everything. There were Black people. Let me tell you a little story. There were Black men who fought in the Revolution, right? They were promised their freedom, and guess what? What happened? They would. The whites said, "What we're gonna do with these Blacks and everything?" Just what they did. They knocked them. They got them drunk, knocked them over the head, and sold them back into slavery. You know, in the Star Spangled Banner, Francis Scott Key. You know how many verses are left out of Star Spangled Banner? Star Spangled Banner was about the rebellion, crushing slave rebellions, right, and making sure that black people are subjugated in America, right? We give no rest or refuge. Look at the original Star Spangled Banner, right? And from the War of 1812, it was originally from the War of 1812, right?
All right, Kyle, like, let's get to the.
Yeah, bro, you kind of just
Okay,
kind of.
Let's get to it, Kyle. Go ahead.
Okay, no. But my point is this. You had all these black people who believed in America. Why? Because you're born here. Okay, I agree with that. You're born here. What gets me is this. Why can't you ADOS people, right? Just put on an American flag and be like Candace Owens. You know?
Yo, like, listen. What you're doing is dangerous. You're sending a message. I'll let you talk for like 3 minutes.
Kyle, I'm gonna put in a 2-minute rule here in a second.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do it. Come on.
I got you. Once you get started, Kyle, you just All right. Go ahead.
I feel like what you're doing, bro, and I don't know you, but I feel like it's dangerous. You're, like I said again, you're making a monolithic argument. You're saying that an entire group of people think one thing. First of all, that's scientifically improbable. It's not true, man. So allow us to be people, allow us to have differences and opinions. You have Africans that believe Black Americans are cutters. You have Africans who don't believe that.
Okay, let
me finish. You have Black Americans who believe that America is their homeland and they want to just stay here and they don't want to go nowhere else. And then you have African Americans who don't believe that. We're not a monolithic group of people. And when we decide to generalize ourselves, it's dangerous. It's not even like I said, it's not even scientifically probable. And what it does is it sends a message to the world. The ADOS think this one way. Whatever new tag is up, that's how we all think. And that's not true in Dynasty. You know it isn't. So why are we sending this message? Look, I understand the problems of being in North America, so I don't have to go over it for 45 minutes. But the issue is our solutions is not in bashing ourselves from a monolithic perspective. And it's not in going to Africa. Our issue is that we need to find a way to protect, sustain ourselves and our people. We need political alliances as well as national alliances with countries we can depend on. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with fighting for equality in America and fighting for reparations.
Okay, so
why can't we do both?
Red,
Okay.
do you ever think, it's been 400 years now, do you think Black people ever experience equality here in America?
Well, I think it might be possible, but it's very tough, man. We've come a long way. But it's very tough.
We regress back, though. We were regressing. Black America is actually regressing. We were actually doing better. If you look at the pictures from the 20s and 30s, Black people used to walk down in a nice suit and everything. Young Black men take pictures and everything like that. We talk about progress. We've actually gone backwards. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Things are getting worse.
I disagree. I'm an engineer, so most of the.
So how can you must be smart enough to realize. Look at the Black culture right now.
I mean, can I? Okay.
I'm gonna Black culture, right? Can you go to the mall and tell me you're proud of what you see in Black America?
Some of it.
Like what? People with their pants hanging down.
No,
with,
like
saran wrap on their.
No, bro. Bro. You know that is not the encompassing factor of millions of Black people. Man.
Come on, bro.
No, bro. I think you like to argue, which is cool, but that's not the encompassing factor of most Black Americans. You have baby boomers that are Black, they're still alive. You have various different types of Black Americans. What are y'all doing? What you doing?
We know that, and some of
them. Then why? Whoa. So let me finish. So why are you focusing on the dude who's hanging his pants off of his ass?
No, I'm not focusing on that. But
you just said that. You said when you go to the mall, you see Black people. You say when you went to the mall, you focus primarily all the people in the mall. You staring at the guy with the pants hanging off his ass.
What's going in the mind of the average Black person? What music is he listening to?
I could not answer that question, bro, because that's millions of people. I can answer what's in the mind of me as an individual.
Let's do this, Kala. Okay, Red. So there's an ADOS 101 website. I'm guessing now. Do you recognize Yvette and Tone as the leaders? Is that a yes or no? Or
no? I think that they have been pioneers in the struggle, but they're not the leaders of African Americans and the descendants of slaves. No, they're not.
That's what they
say. They are pioneers, and they're not even trying to be. Their main goal is to fight for reparations. The issues that people are taking in terms of Yvette's politics on immigrants is a discussion that was based off of a New York Times article she read. These are discussions that I'm having at school with Nigerians who tell me that Ghana was the Walmart of slavery. And they laugh about the shit. And we have discussions about Liberia. And we have discussions about the issues facing the continent as well as Black people in North America. And we don't throw out generalizations at each other. I've had to confront the issue of an elder using the word akata, and I had to learn what it meant. And we had an in-depth discussion. So I don't hate African immigrants. That's bullshit. And whoever made that up is being divisive. And I think that might be from the government.
Bro, we hear it all the time, man. We hear it all the time.
Well, you're listening to the wrong people. Because that's not what Yvette and Antonio is saying.
I'm part of a group called the Black African Infrastructure Organization, right? If somebody, and we have a hashtag, whatever like that, but somebody who's on the BAIO saying spouting stuff that we don't agree with, that person is gone. I'll make sure that person's gone. I'm not going to attach my name and my reputation to anybody like that.
Then you're dangerous. Like I said.
Hashtag ADOS, and you know it's become divisive.
Bro, you dangerous. You know? If you decide to, do away with somebody just because they have a difference in opinion.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a simple question. If you know this term ADOS is divisive, right? How come you guys don't come up with something else? You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Divisive to who?
Let me interject. I don't think the term ADOS is divisive.
Divisive to who?
When you say, my personal thing is, when you say now,
how you don't have an issue when Nigerians call themselves Nigerians or Ethiopians call themselves?
You say African. We call them African Americans.
Whoa. Well, listen. I got a question for you, bro. How come you don't have an issue when Nigerians claim that they're Nigerians, right? Which could be seen as divisive.
You're saying Nigeria. You're calling yourself an American.
Listen, I'm trying to say, when you're saying divisive based off of a name, what you're saying is people separating themselves into alternative groups, right? And you're saying that could be a problem because of the politics associated with ADOS.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You have every right to identify with, for your slave ancestry in North America, I'm one, right? I get that, right? But what my problem is, right, when people try to make distinctions between the struggle of African Americans and Nigerians, when I believe that when you're in America, right, when you soon you come to America, we have never had a nativist movement in Black America. That's the one thing no one can ever accuse us of. We've never been tribalist. We've always had community.
I agree.
So why is it now in 2019, right? 2019, suddenly everybody's going tribal?
They're not going tribal. This was something that was. Let me finish. Let me finish. Can I finish? Can I say something? They're not becoming tribal. The issue is they're trying to make a decisive movement based off a decisive issue. The issue is the owing of reparations. So what it was is almost like an organization. Black people don't call themselves NAACP. It was an organization founded for the advancement of color people, right? People of color, right? So what's the issue with starting an organization to fight for reparations? Let me finish.
I think they're being disingenuous.
You cut me off. Now I'm disingenuous.
Go ahead, C-Ray. Go ahead.
All right. So the purpose of creating a movement called ADOS was specifically to fight for reparations. And you're basically calling me a liar, which is crazy because you don't even know me, but that's fine. It was specifically to fight for reparations. So are we just saying give reparations to everybody? No, since we understand that Black people in America are not monolithic, that you have people from Jamaica, you have people from Africa that might identify as being a Black American, right? So we're saying specifically those reparations that are owed should be paid to descendants of slavery and American citizens.
Here's where
that's not being divisive. That's being precise.
Okay. That nonsense. Go ahead.
Right. You're gonna kill that concept?
That nonsense you're talking.
Now I'm talking not. See what I'm saying, bro? That's dangerous. This guy's dangerous.
Because let me interject. See, Red, I agree with you. What I don't agree with is the jockeying for position to, I guess, gain access to Amber Guyger's whiteness in order to leverage that against black immigrants when the black immigrants aren't even really an issue?
Oh, bro, those are like those are two different issues. The issues with black immigrants has nothing to do with this case that just happened. And there's no ADOS members or I don't know, organization citizens who are fighting for, I don't know, whiteness. I don't even understand like the concept.
Okay. So as far as if legislation is passed, who does ADOS? Who cuts the check at the end of the day and writes the legislation?
The federal government.
Okay, who controls the federal government?
There's the legislation out of Washington, which would be the Congress.
Who controls who is the Congress predominantly made up of?
Well, we have a mixture now. We have women, we have whites. We have a majority of white men.
Circles down. You talking to circles down.
Hold up. Now, guys, y'all know that the United States Congress is not just made up of old white men, right? And as a matter of fact,
who is it predominantly made up of?
Okay, it's predominantly white men. Okay, that's fair.
All right, let me ask you a question. Let me test your knowledge, right? Let's talk about historical reparations. How is reparations usually brought about in nations? Is it brought about by a nation after war when they've been vanquished, beaten, defeated, and ceasefire, and the victors say, you're going to pay this reparations over many, many years as repair, such as what was Germany. Japan had to pay South Korea, China, Russia, the Philippines, all these people billions of dollars over the years, right? By the force of a treaty, right?
All right.
You tell me, then treaty is adopted into local law, which they passed a legislation. We honor this treaty of reparations that we got to pay. Germany paid Israel, right? Israel couldn't get reparations until it became a state. The Jews couldn't get reparations until it became a state, and the Germans had to pay the state of Israel reparations for what happened to the Jews in World War II. Okay, that's what happens when the Chinese burned the opium stuff. Who's somebody filibustering? I hear something. Anyway,
no. Real quick, C-Red. This is my problem.
All right.
I just feel like ADOS is trying to negotiate or trying to reinvent the wheel in regards trying to convince our historic oppressor to have some type of black people, and it's not going to happen. Versus now, we know for a fact. So we've never been given equal rights in America. We can agree on that. Can we, C-Red?
I agree.
So we have built our own nation. We've had our own nation before. So my thing is, instead of doing all this talking and negotiating and going to the government, how about we just demand that we have our own nation?
Okay, well, that's a very complicated question. Okay, so first of all, we got to find a place to house millions of Black Americans, correct? Then we need a military, right? Then we need a budget for that nation, right? So what's the difference between asking them for a nation and asking them for reparations? We're still asking.
Because we can be
reparations. Because it happened.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying.
No, but I gave you the answer because it's happened before.
No. The issue with Liberia, and I think that's what you're referencing.
Well, bro,
Liberia.
I'm the expert on Liberia, bro. I'm the expert on Liberia.
Go ahead. What's the
okay.
issue?
The issue with Liberia was, if anything, you could look at it as a social experiment. When they were sending those Black people over there, we were still pretty much catching hell in North America. They were not able to house millions of Black Americans in Liberia. And we see how Liberia turned out for Black Americans.
Actually, Liberia was actually successful, bro.
It was successful.
Up until 1980.
It was successful until we ended up in front of a firing squad.
Oh yeah, that right there.
That's what you call success?
Because we
had no military to protect ourselves.
No. The firing squad.
Hold on. C-Red, come on, man. So we've been in front of a damn firing squad for the past 400 years. You got one example of being in front of a firing squad in Liberia, and all of a sudden it's like, let's continue to
No. Come on now. That's not the conversation. What you said was we have examples of us being funded by the United States government to build nations. And what I'm saying is it did not work successfully because it was only for a small group of people and it didn't really affect millions of others.
Well, same thing with affirmative action. Bro, same thing with affirmative action. Only a small group of Black people benefited for a small thing, just like that judge.
No, no, bro.
A small
That's
group
not
of black
true.
people benefit.
Millions
and
of black people have,
they do nothing.
Dude, the big
brother,
whoa, see red, hold on.
millions of black
Um,
people have benefited from affirmative
Most black
action.
people
Come on,
benefit
man.
from affirmative
Where's
action.
the evidence of it?
You had a corporate job you walked away from, and I think the other brother is talking to you.
Corporate America, they didn't get
That job.
No, they
I
didn't
got
give
it,
me
y'all. Listen. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Black people have been in positions of power in this country based off of affirmative action. Black people have been able to walk in restaurants, go to school, be in certain areas and neighborhoods that were restricted because of us fighting against affirmative action. And let me finish, because my grandmama was fighting for civil rights. So when you're talking about that, you're talking about something personal. It wasn't a small group of people. This was a fight.
My father was doing.
Let me finish.
Too, so.
Okay. Respect. So this wasn't a small fight. It was millions of black people fighting for this. So I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't just it might have been a small group that started it.
See, Red,
but pretty much it was pushed by millions of black people.
Red, the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action are white women.
Okay, that's true.
Okay,
they wrote in on black energy,
But it's not just white women. It's Asians. It's Indians.
Oh, so we should be celebrating.
So we should be celebrating. So
let me answer one question at a time. All right, so it wasn't just white women who benefited from affirmative action. It's
the majority.
It's been the majority of Africans who have come over here. It has been the majority of Indians who have come over here, or any other immigrant.
Wow, look me too. Boom,
is that not?
Wow,
that's a fact.
Guys, I didn't even know we had it so good, man. All these people.
That's a fact.
You don't have a problem with that, but if you say black immigrants,
that's a fact.
You want to get mad.
That's not a debate.
But why you guys ADOS? You shouldn't be ADOS then.
Wait, bro. You don't understand what you're saying, bro. I don't understand. Like you told me that early white women benefited from affirmative action. I'm showing you
black immigrants out of America.
What? I'm sorry. What'd you say, bro? I can't understand.
If the so-called ADOS, the majority of you that I hear you troll around the internet and everything like that, talk Tariq and all you people, if you guys had your way, the U.S. government would round up every black immigrant and send you on a boat. That's the hatred I see out there.
Okay, listen. Let me help you out. Bro, listen. Can you hear me out? I heard what you said. That's not true. Okay. Let me finish.
This is my imagination, Dinus.
No.
See, Red, let me say
this is not true.
See, Red, hold on. Per Yvette Carnell in the data and Tone Talks, black people have not benefited from affirmative action.
I am ADOS.
That's not true either.
Okay, so you say that Yvette.
Let me ask you a question, Dinus, and I'm not trying to, take a personal shot at you. Do you own your home, Dinus?
Yeah, I own my home.
How'd you pay for it?
I got a loan. So technically, I don't own it, but I have a loan.
Okay. Do you understand that by you being able to receive a loan from a bank, that's a form of affirmative action?
No, actually,
hold up. Let's stay with this, sir. Do you understand that?
See, Red, what you don't understand is, so there are studies done that homes own.
I'm talking about your own personal experience, not some statistics.
Let me finish.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
There's been plenty of data and studies done that, yes, we had access to home loans, but because we're black, our home values are devalued.
Absolutely. We've been redlined and we've been gentrified.
Exactly. So yes, we have access to the loans, but if they're devalued, then how's that a win? So this is the point I'm trying to make. You're trying to convince the same people who, I guess, passed affirmative actions, but then turn around and devalue your homes, that they're going to give you some type of special status. When I'm telling you that if they do the trick bag, they already have the trick bag already in place to implement. So my thing is, won't you just focus on building a nation of your own?
Now, interesting.
What I'm telling you is, Dinus, you wouldn't even have been able to get in the house that you're living in to even pay for it if it wasn't for affirmative action. What I'm saying to you is there are a lot of black people who actually have got the money out of their homes that they felt was sufficient for what they paid for it. And there are some black people who have been redlined and have gone through gentrification. That's a fact. But what I'm saying to you is that black people have made progressive strides and have been successful with affirmative action. It has helped it. But also, hold up. But also, In some aspects, it has hindered us. I do understand the argument that segregation destroyed the Black economy. I get it. I respect that. But at the same time, since we are here in this day right now, we have to also pay attention to what are the pros. And there are pros, being the fact that you're able to be a college educated Black who had a corporate job that you could walk away from is a form of affirmative action and progression because our ancestors did not have those options. Even like 40 or 50 years ago.
He's on the grad.
Oh, well, hold on. See, Red, we're not talking about me as an individual. I'm talking about the collective.
But see, this is what I'm trying to say, bro. In order for us to understand this, we have to look at our individual plight and then also connect it to the collective. If we go off of just the statistics, and you guys say this all the time, if we go off of just statistics and media, we can be deceived. What I'm saying is what my two eyes show me is different from what I hear on these social media chats and on media. It's a lie. Black people actually are, like, for example, most people would tell me Detroit is a piece of shit. They'll say the city is horrible. Black people are dying there, all kinds of nonsense. That's not what I experienced. Yes, there are Black people killing each other. Yes, there is crime, but there was a progressive Black community in Detroit. And a lot of it happened from us betraying ourselves when we got in positions of power to take the bag. So us going and taking over, or because literally we would have to take over a nation. There's nowhere you can just house millions of Black people. And asking them for reparations and asking them for a nation is accident.
Let me ask you a question, right? Let's say, okay, having a nation is long term, whatever like that, right? Do you believe all the money supply? See, the difference between us, Black people, I did a AARP course last night, right? And I found that Hispanics now, their spending power a year is 1.3 trillion. Black America is 1.2. Asians, right? People think it's so successful. It's like 600. Let me get to this done. $600 million a year, right? Now, Mexicans. The difference between Mexicans and Latinos is they have a way of funneling that money out of the United States, put it in the thing. What you're asking us to do is get money. If you some strange reason you get reparations, right? You're saying let's continue the same thing. Put the money back into the American system. Is there any way?
No. I never said that.
So if you're saying that we don't need to build overseas and we don't need,
I never said that. I never said that.
Africa, all the money that you do generate.
He never said that, caller. He never.
But I'm asking you. What he's saying is, he's saying everything's all right here. We got affirmative action. And
I never said that.
You want reparations?
Never said that.
If a nation state is not,
you're kind of dangerous, bro. I never said that.
So let me ask you a question. How much do you think each Black person should get for reparations?
First of all, let me ask you a question. Do you hear what I'm saying, Black man? Like, do you hear me? Or like, are you just kind of like creating in your mind what you want to believe I'm saying?
To make your statements, right? I said this is what ADOS says, right? You came up and said, yeah, you could have distanced yourself from the ADOS argument. Says I'm talking to C-Red, but you came up there and said I'm ADOS, so I'm only going by.
I never said I'm ADOS.
You said
I never said that.
I don't know, bro. You said you were ADOS. You said you're ADOS now, bro. You did.
I said I'm a descendant in this country, just like you are.
Yeah, you're an ADOS.
Come on, man.
Okay, regardless. Okay, you know what? No problem. You could call me ADOS. That's fine. What I tried to explain to you guys was ADOS was a movement created to fight for reparations. It's not a defining factor of millions of Black people. It's just an organization fighting. It's just an organization fighting for the reparations.
Like 5,000 people belong to it.
What? What'd you say, man? I can't understand.
I said about 5,000 people nationwide know what ADOS is.
I don't know where you get that data from. I'm only gonna speak on.
You add up all these social media that does ADOS. You go to the chat room, except for Yvette Cardell, nobody could sit there and listen for an hour. I mean, I was listening to O'Shea show Sunday night, right? O'Shea had a good topic. I mean, bad time. 700 people in the chat room, right?
We don't talk about. I mean,
no. Some people are going to talk about reparations. Everybody went, what the hell?
You're kind of going on a tangent.
Okay. Let's go over.
Okay.
So the issue I see here is this. I don't define myself by the politics of any specific group. I define myself. Let me finish. I am a descendant of African slavery. So therefore, whether I agree with the title or not, damn, bro, can I make one statement? I'm a descendant of African Americans who were enslaved. So I agree with them fighting for reparations. Do I agree with everything Yvette and Antonio say? No, I don't agree with everything y'all say. But there's similarities in some of our politics. But I'm not going to just dust them off because I disagree. I think that's dangerous. You don't just dust people off because you don't agree with them. If anything, we should try to have a equal debate to understand where each other are coming from. That's why I asked you, do you even hear what I'm saying, bro? Because by the time you talk, there's words in my mouth. I'm like,
what you're saying, man. You came up here defending them, saying you're ADOS and everything. And
no. When you're talking about ADOS, like literally, when I'm hearing you guys talk about it, it sounds like you're talking about the majority of Black Americans. So when you're saying I go to the mall and I'm seeing people sagging and shit,
well, you said there's nothing wrong with Black America or whatnot. I said we do have a problem in Black America right now. We have a culture problem. You know, that's not letting up.
Why do we have a cultural problem with Black America?
Because we don't control the media. We don't control the music industry. We control nothing.
Do you know the culture of Black America? Or do you know what the media says?
Okay,
have you actually like walked outside and talked to a Black American though?
Let's talk about the culture of Black America. Let me let you talk, right? The Revolt Conference, right? Now, of all the intelligent Black minds in Black America, right? We got T.I. up there speaking for talking about this, that, and the other thing. T.I., you know, the man has a trap house, you know, museum, and he has strippers and everything. But that's the culture of Black America. That's acceptable in Black America. Cardi B is with Bernie Sanders. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent is up there on CNN giving interviews and everything. You know, we have congressmen that are redundant, right? That's been there 60, 70 years sitting in Congress, right? No one has the intelligence to say, look, we need to get new congressmen that's going to fight for our rights and everything. The congressman goes to Congress for years and don't bring anything Black back to the Black community. And we're so sick of the people. Your own Detroit, Conyers, what the hell is he still doing there? You know, you guys can't even muster this thing and say, this old man got to go. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you're ready to fight for some reparations? Are you kidding me?
I don't understand the problem. What you're saying to me is that...
You know, this Detroit has gone down to shit. You
absolutely.
know what I'm saying? You have a congressman that's been there before I was born. And you guys can't even unseat him.
How will we do that?
Black Americans reparations. Are you kidding me?
Black Americans in this country do not have, you guys said it, political power. We have fought for the little bit. Let me finish. We have fought for the little bit of political power that we have. Okay? We have fought very tough to even just be able to use a fucking restroom or to use a water fountain. Okay, now we're at a point where, well, I mean, we've had Black congressmen since the Reconstruction period. Let me finish. We've had Black Congress. We've had Black congressmen since the Reconstruction period of slavery. The issue is, it's kind of like you're trying to take something that's a very complicated issue and you're making it this vague kind of argument. And then what you're doing to make it easy for yourself is you're generalizing people into one box. What I'm saying is none of those boxes exist. Okay, there are Black people that actually have got bills passed to even stop like certain like aspects of police patrolling and have made changes through politics. And there are some who haven't. But if I say, well, generally all Black people feel this way, it's just, it's not intelligent and it's not real. It's dishonest. Okay. What I'm telling you is I agree with the politics. I'm sorry.
Let me say something about this, right? I believe the people that's talking about reparations, right now, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Black people owe trillions of dollars. I'll tell you that right now, right? But the people that want to be full American citizens, right? They want to wrap themselves in the American flag, right? They want to basically wink and nod at Republicans because if you say we're going to stay home to vote, all you're doing is telling the Republicans, you know what I'm saying, we're going to give Trump another term and everything like that. I think you're full of shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that is, B. I don't agree or subscribe to any of what you're saying. I think you're just kind of pulling from. I don't even know what you're pulling from.
You got to crawl before you can walk. You have nothing built up to talk about. Oh, we want reparations. That's being disingenuous. You know you ain't gonna get reparations. So what you're doing is you're telling Black people to stay home to give the Republicans an easy victory next November.
No, that's not what's happening at all, man. First of all, let me go back to what you said about.
Not last night, but it seems like that to me.
Let me go back to.
Okay, C-Rat, you there? Hello.
Okay, let me go back to what you said. I don't look at T.I. or entertainers as a voice for Black Americans. Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, your phone, the Cricket 1.5G.
Hey,
I don't.
stop hating, stop hating, stop hating. I got it on a charger right now. Stop hating. Listen.
Okay. Okay.
All right, listen. The issues with the revolt thing, right? Like those are entertainers, man. Like they don't represent Black Americans. If you really want to talk to a Black American, maybe like stop by a barbershop or stop in front of a store or like talk to people at work. Like most Black Americans are like regular people, bro. We're not this shit they put on the media. Like we don't hate Africans. We don't hate immigrants. Majority of the friends I know don't have issues with Africans. Now there might be some Black people who hate Africans for whatever particular reason, but that's not us. Neither are we trying to become white. That's not us. There are people in our group of Black people and African. Whoa. But my friends, we're not waking up like, hey, man, we busting our ass to take advantage of the opportunities that are there.
I didn't say be
because we don't have a choice. There is no nation for us, and nations are built based off of war, not legislation.
I think everything we're saying, you're agreeing with. You said we don't have a nation, we don't have resources. That's
whiteness.
Is that
what you believe? You believe that Black America whiteness? This isn't true. We want to use in the country we built. It's that simple. And we're going to hear some alternative, and we can have an argument. But right now, listen, let me finish. Right now, we don't have a fucking option. When I put the right to like or walk into a grocery store, the entire United States of America said it wouldn't happen. The integration wouldn't happen. These were grassroots Black people that were willing to fight and die so that we could have the rights that we don't even care about today, right? So the same is with this movement. It was just putting the conversation on the table. That's all we did. And really, we didn't do that. Antonio and Yvette put the work down to actually make that happen.
Let me ask you this real quick. So as far as to integrate, people had to bleed, people had to die. Do you think ADOS, they're ready to bleed and die for reparations? You there?
That's a general.
Oh, come on.
I'll say this. Speak Black people.
Yes or no question. That's a
but yes. I think that, yes. I think there are African American, Black African Americans that are willing to bleed for reparations. Absolutely.
CJ, are you going to rise up for reparations?
Die. Not all of them, but some. But because it's not
what would that look
an
like?
encompassing factor of all of them.
What would that look like? Would that look anything like?
I can't hear
you. You said they were willing to rise up for their reparations and whatnot. You said they were. Some people were willing to rise up for their reparations. Right?
What you talking about?
No, you said he asked you, what length will you go to get your reparations? Are you willing to rise up?
I didn't say rise up.
So how you gonna do it? You gonna?
I said Black people.
You gonna kneel down?
See, you just with America. Black Americans are going to fight for reparations. I'm going to fight for equality.
It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a wrestling match.
They've always done.
Sword fight, gun
Dinus asked me, "Are we willing to die?" I say some of us are willing to die. Others aren't.
The question is, are you willing to kill? You know what I'm saying? Black people have been dying. We've been dying for 40 years, man. Man. We getting killed. Look what happened.
What are you saying?
Gene, he died and whatnot. Black people dying every day. What's that place? Mother Emmanuel.
You just kind of want to argue. Look, I'm trying to. No, we're not killing anybody, bro.
Let's just do this. Okay, all right, so C-Red. So I thought you said you're ADOS, but you're saying you're not. So okay, but what's the end game? That last question. What's
the change going to fight? I don't understand your fight. Like,
I don't have a beef with it.
What's the problem?
Who said it has a beef?
No, my problem is when we start talking about these guys always show up on platforms like this. We start talking about the good things about going to Africa. I would like to do a show with Dynas and give him updates about all the stuff we have going on in the African continent that
Okay.
I'm a
Oh,
part of
it's
and
to fight.
whatnot. You know
I
what I'm
think it
saying?
would be
You
wise
know what I'm saying? But the whole thing, we
for
can't do
us
these
to
shows without these trolls in the chat room talking about, oh, forget the Africa, forget the global thing or not.
as well as fight for political.
Hey, C-Red, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? When I used to blog talk.
All right, C-Red, go ahead. What's the end game? C-Red, what's the end game? Well, what's the end game?
I hear you. I sound like y'all in South. I'll tell you, most of this is a misinformation. I've actually been somewhat successful. Most of this has been a misinformation.
Oh, see,
you say what?
The 1G, C-Red.
The
1G, the 1G.
To fight for reparations in this country and also fight for political in other countries. If we can get it.
Okay.
I don't know what you're saying.
All right, cool. All right, brother. Appreciate it.
Hello?
Alfonso, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like I said, I looked at the ADOS movement. I really appreciate Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks information that they put out. But I kind of agree with the other side when they say that, to me it's like trying to rehatch something that it's not going to work, because a lot of what they're doing, if you study Marcus Garvey, if you study Elijah Muhammad, if you study any individuals, they especially Marcus Garvey, he had a section in his Philosophies and Opinions that talked about progress on sand, or making progress or building things on a foundation that was not solid, that could be snatched away from us at any time. And he talked about how one day the U.S. government would flood America with different foreign nationals, and that we wouldn't be able to compete with these people. So when you talk about trying to have access to certain resources, like the information that they put out, that we own less than 3% of the wealth in this country. We're heading to a situation where not only are our marriages, the foundation of a people, destroyed, but now you're starting to see our relationships with each other being destroyed. To sit up there and to say that we can kind of be healed by any type of financial monies or any type of commerce is not true, because we're dealing with a spiritual condition. We're dealing with a mental condition, and we, more than anything, we need a place that we can go and heal as a people, and be able to accept ourselves and accept each other and be able to grow, because I keep hearing this, well, we're going to fight for America, and we're going to fight to make this situation right, and we're going to fight to get what's owed to us. And yes, America has done a great injustice to us as a people. Nobody can deny that, but you're making it seem like they're going to turn around and have compassion for us and say, well,
hey, brother, not to cut you off. That's the point I'm trying to make. You think the people who have marginalized you for the past 400 years are going to turn around and give you resources so now you could be on an even playing field? I'm like, it's not going to happen.
I mean, and quite frankly, it really doesn't even make sense if you think about it. We keep thinking about things from a victim standpoint. We have to, and like I said, I done set up and talk with people on my job about this. A guy on my job jumped up and said, we're not owed reparations. And in this country, people have come here, and they have come here with the shirts on their back, and this is the land of opportunity. And how come you can't do it? And I'm like, well, see, the thing about with ADOS, with them, you have to understand that at the end of the day, Black America represents a different entity. It represents a different culture and a different state of mind than the people that they're bringing over here. So they rather empower and bring up the Hispanics. They are going to be the next. The Hispanic people are going to be the next. The next group of people, the second minority people. We're going to be at the bottom. They rather bring other people over here that don't have that same relationship, that don't have that same victimized feeling. They don't have that same. I mean, because you've had this when you look at any great nation, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Rome, whether it's the Byzantine, whether it's any nation, you had nations that those nations, them nations represented opportunity to certain people, but the other people, them nations represented oppression. And we just happen to be that people where to certain people, America represents the land of opportunity, a place to come and make money, a place to come and have freedoms that you might not have.
You got to have him more often. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, we
have him more often. Bro, brilliant. You know,
I mean, because I'm just because that's the thing about it's not the knock the ADOS movement. I appreciate the information they put out, but we're not thinking properly. When we keep talking about progress, that the progress can be snatched. When you talk about the lynch mobs and the dogs being stuck on us and the stuff that they went through to get the rights, but then they turn around and counter the move by putting drugs in your community, by flooding this place with different foreign nationals, and I mean they've countered all them moves. They've countered all those moves and have put us in the position now where we're to the.
That's what I was trying to tell Brother C Red, and that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Like what you just said.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to just bring that to the forefront, because it's like when we come from this perspective, we're saying that we need to be separated from these people. I mean, to say that we, have benefited, we're not even what our grandfathers was. We're not even what our grandfathers was. We don't even have the cohesiveness. Yeah, we don't even have. I mean, like I say, when we talk about segregation, it was certain positives.
We had Negro leagues.
Yeah, it was just certain positives, just of us being able to accept each other. Like you go on these jobs.
We were a people.
Yeah, we were a people because we were forced to be. That's why, like I said, we didn't have a strong enough identity as a people to be integrated into their society. Like when you talk about it being a cultural problem, and the ADOS, you saying black people don't have no culture? No, we're not saying that. We're just saying that we don't have strong customs. We don't have traditions. We don't have rites of passage. We don't have certain things that gives you an immune system. Because that's what a cultural identity is. A cultural identity is like a people's immune system. It allows you to have certain things that protect you. Yeah, I'm just because, like I said, we gotta look at this. We gotta stop looking at this from that same old Negro mindset of well, America gonna finally wake up and realize what they done to us, and they gonna say that they owe us. No, they not. They not, because it wouldn't be smart for them to do that.
Let me ask you a question. Now, the two leaders of ADOS, three leaders, Tariq, Yvette, and Tone Talks, right? They all claim that they have a birthright with America. This is their land, and part of their thing is, I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? America. In other words, basically, they're trying to hold America hostage. They're wrapping themselves in the American flag, and they're saying we want our reparations. It's a bargaining thing. They're saying you owe us, so I'm gonna force my way for you to accept me as an American, right? Because I'm your slave descendant. It's like you crawling back on the plantation, saying, "Massa, I was owned by this plantation right here. I'm going to be part of this right here." And you expect them to do the right thing and give you reparations. But I really don't think. I mean, I could be wrong, right? Because they tell me these people are smart, right? They tell me Tone Talks and all these people are. But you just laid it out right there. How you gonna expect the same people, right? Reparations is done by sanction. People don't realize that. One nation is defeated in war, right? And the international body, whatever, group of nations, allied nations, whatever like that, says you have to pay such and such amount of reparations to this country for X amount of years. Germany had to pay out billions of dollars over like a 40-year period of time. Japan had to do the same thing. Same thing with Italy, right? It was done by sanctions. And I was saying before was, remember you heard about the Opium War, right? The Chinese were in the right? They burned opium vessels down that was addicted to people. But guess what? It didn't matter. When the British came in there with their gunboats, and defeated the Chinese, right? Guess what? The Chinese had to pay what? Reparations. Why? Because they lost. So tell me what sane country? I know sane country is we're gonna pay reparations to the people that's most dependent on us, that we can kill anytime we want to. We can remove. We can do everything they want to. We could give. We could they'll boo-hoo and cry. You know, when our police officers get found not guilty and everything, all they're gonna do is raise a fist and say,
No. We give them Bibles now.
"Oh, we give them Bibles." You know what I'm saying? And we tell them to forgive. You know what I'm saying? We bring out Pastor Chicken Wing and Pork Chop. You know, to come out here and preach to them and whatnot. Tell them Jesus said forgive and all kind of nonsense and everything. So the whole thing is they got it all wrapped up. And then after with all dust settled, you got the NBA championships coming up, right? You got the Super Bowl coming up, right? They know they got millions of different distractions, you know? How are you gonna muster that? And then every day on the radio, like I'm trying to tell C-Red, in your mind is fuck this, I'm gonna shoot this nigga, I'm gonna kill this nigga, and everything. That's what's going on in their head, occupying idle mind of the average black person out there in the hood. So
let me add that. Let me add on top of that what you're saying. And then when you think about, because like I said, when you look at our most progressive, like I said, I always tell, I say at one time Black America was one of the, like, pound for pound, one of the most progressive peoples, you know, on the planet, one of the most industrious peoples to especially be dealing with the times and the condition, the situation we was dealing with. But if you look at that Black America, you know, them people was conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a 30-plus-year-old man. I'm not married. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look around, we not conservative like that no more. We're not conservative. We in the running the street. Yeah, like we not even that people. Like when you talk about like Atlanta and you talk about, like, you know, the type of financial, the businesses they have. But when you talk about, let's go look at the actual surroundings, and it's all these single people, it's all these single mothers, it's all these dudes running around trying to fornicate. It's like we're not even.
Like I said, money in Red Lobster. What else, Linus? What's popping down in Atlanta? Red Lobster. What else?
Say that one more time.
What do black people spend their money in? You said Red Lobster, and what else?
Foot Locker.
Spending their money at?
Oh, in Atlanta?
Yeah.
So the Red Lobster off of Camp Creek in Atlanta is the number one revenue generating Red Lobster in the world.
Hey, guess who the clientele is?
All black.
But we don't got no money. We don't got no money. You know.
And see that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell them like it's not, when we talk about our condition, it's not to put us down. We can greatly acknowledge the things that we had and the things that our grandfathers and our great grandfathers generations did, and the progressiveness that they did, and how they was able to come up with things from nothing, how they was able to build whole industries from the ground up, from scratch. But once the civil rights, once we accepted that movement, that they put us in a checkmate in 5 situation. That's what that did, because now we're to the situation where instead of us being in a situation where we had to do things, where we had to go out there. Like I said, my grandfather worked 2 jobs for 17 years, worked his whole life. And I was saying we to the point where we not that generation of men no more. We wasn't even brought up to be independent like that. We got go to school and get a good job. We got depend on this system. And once that was the culture, and once that was the basis of it, we was pretty much put at the whim of the dominant society. And then you got people that was talking about, well, with the dominant society, you know, they're not, their birth rates are falling and this and the third. But that's even a but let me add on that. That's even a worse situation, because I'm like, your deal is with the white society. That's what your deal is with. So if the Hispanics,
white daddy, he's the one with the job, the business.
Yeah, if the Hispanics take over, if the Arabs is taking over, if the Asians take over, they don't have no obligation to do nothing for you, because your deal is with somebody else. So it's like, come on, man, we got to look at the situation that we leaving to our kids. We got to look at the situation that we leaving to our grandkids, and we leaving a hell of a burden on them, because you're not even going to have even a community, a join together identity as a people to even to even progress, and you're gonna have to compete with people that have that. So it's like, man, you have to look at it, and sometimes looking for a place outside this domain. We need a place that we can go somewhere and be forced to lean on each other, be forced to lean on each other, be forced to heal, be forced to turn back and be conservative and stop, living, because we live in more liberal and more wild than the white folks now.
Oh man, you gotta come to Atlanta, bro. Oh my god. I mean, there's some black folks in Atlanta with sense, but you just don't understand.
Yeah.
Bruce, go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead, Bruce.
I'm ADOS, and unfortunately, man, I think y'all are like off the mark.
Okay, what are we off the mark? How are we off the mark? Let them talk, Kyle. Let them talk.
Okay. So the issue I have is that where are ADOS going to go if this nationhood can be possibly made? There is no African country that's going to accept millions of Black Americans to go into their country, create massive divisions. If we come over here, start businesses, there's going to be massive fighting, massive issues that are going to take place. You got to talk about food, you got to talk about government, you got to talk about power. There's no African country that's going to be willing to accept massive amounts of Black Americans into their society without having massive division. I don't understand how you can't think about that.
Hey, Bruce, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Right now, guess who most African governments are trying to reach out to for tourism?
Tourism and living somewhere is two different things.
You just said they don't want. You said out of your mouth that they don't want massive numbers of Black people. Do you know how the Chinese, everybody else, get their start in Africa, or wherever like that? They go over there and tour. And then guess what? They send back reports, and next thing you know, they're coming back with an army and they got a plan of action.
Now, are Africans happy with Chinese people setting up businesses in their country?
No, they have no choice.
Okay, so that's the issue. That's the issue.
I have a social network. I got
Bruce. What you don't understand is they would rather have us come over.
They would rather have us over there than the Chinese.
Oh, okay, so most Black Americans are poor. The Chinese people that are going over into Africa
that's not true.
Are rich.
No, that's another myth.
That's not true at all.
If they're setting up,
Black America spends $63 billion a year on travel. We earned $1.2 trillion in spending power. We're not poor.
How is wealth measured? Is it measured in spending power?
Wealth has to have an initial. That's the one thing Black America has. We have initial, and then you invest in the capital, and then you expand it. Black people in America got the initial to build wealth and expand wealth. Other people don't have that. That's why they come to America to get the hard currency and send it back.
Spending power is not a measure of wealth.
That we don't funnel no place. We don't put it in Black banks.
Bruce, this I want you to do, Bruce. What city do you live in? What city do you live in?
I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I can't say the specifics.
Okay. I want you to do this. When the Jordan 55s drop next Saturday here in Atlanta, come to our foot action.
Again, spending power is not a measure of wealth. Wealth is an ownership of assets. If you're giving your dollar away, that's not wealth.
Assets, you have to have the initial. If let me give you an example. You see what Jay Morris is doing? No,
trying to set up a. I'm not sure. There's a legal confusion with him.
The real estate fund.
Yeah, but he has.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but yes or no? Do you agree with the Tulsa real estate fund?
No, I do not.
Okay, of course you don't, because you want to basically have this whole there's no hope, woe is me, Black people ain't got no money.
That's not what I'm saying.
So we can sit back and beg on like that.
How can he not agree with the fund then?
Because I don't know how the money is being structured. And
educate yourself about it.
He literally has it. Tone literally did a video. Let me talk.
They got dividends.
Let me talk.
You say about wealth. You ask about wealth, right? I just explained to you.
Okay.
Like Jay Morrison. Now you reject that.
My question is, no, there is no clear
There's no clear or
legal statement that says the dividend, whatever money that's comes from that comes from the people goes back to the people. We don't know how. Okay, he got how much money did Jay Morrison get from Black America?
I think like 12 million, 11 or 12 million.
So how much are they getting back?
They got ownership. It's long term.
Ownership of what?
Property.
You just asked about wealth, assets, man.
Assets, real estate.
You brought it up, man.
Okay.
And they get.
They don't have ownership.
Oh Lord,
they do.
Yo, we gotta get Jay Morris on the show or somebody like that. I don't believe what I just heard. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. These ADOS people, they're full of shit. All of them. They're full of shit.
Confusion. You literally trying to say spending power is wealth, and it's not wealth.
Well, you're trying to go back to spending power. Black people took that spending power and invested in an entity, created assets, and you're still against that.
Nobody's against that.
You said, oh Lord, come on, man.
If you start your own, okay. Let's go back from the beginning. Wealth is a measure of assets that you control.
Brother, Bruce, the problem is, I promise I'm cutting you off. Again, go to the Jordan store when a Jordan 35. Michael Jordan has been recycling the same shoes for the past 20 years, but the lines are wrapped around the building. The point I'm trying to make, the wealth is being put towards Jordans, and if you go to Lenox Mall, the Gucci store, versus assets, that's the problem.
Okay. So when white people buy $800 iPhones every year, are they like using their money poorly? Are they using their okay? I've known white people who went to go to Europe every year. And it's just for fun.
Okay.
You got to understand, white people have wealth where it generates money and they have extra money. Black people buying shoes and toilet paper is not the same as when white people spend $1,000 on MacBooks.
I'm lost. I'm lost.
I'm completely lost.
What is toilet paper?
You keep trying to say black. No, what you're trying to say is black people have bad financial habits.
They do.
That's what
they do. We do. We do. That's been proven. We do.
Okay.
We spend more money on movie tickets. We're the biggest consumers of restaurants. Everything. It's catered. Go to anything. Black people's. One guy told me all the time. I was in the club business, right? Guy told me you can't make no money in white clubs. It's all black clubs. That's where the money's at. You know, that's where the people like going out having a good time. Everything like that is black people. You know, you get a redneck bar here and there. They might eat a sandwich or beer on it, but it's the black people that like packing clubs and having a good time.
There are literally studies that prove black people are the most frugal with our money in consideration to socioeconomic status. There are literally studies.
I gotta see the study.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the study through an email. I'm gonna send it to you.
Tell me the study, bro.
I'm gonna email it to you. I'm gonna email it to you because there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of propaganda about how black people. You can speak. Go ahead.
Okay, well, let me ask you. So we're on the same. So we're on the same page, Bruce. I just want to make sure. I guess I was confused with C-Red. Are you ADOS?
I'm ADOS.
Okay, now. Someone asked Yvette Carnell, they questioned her in regards to her starting a fund, investment fund.
Oh, yeah.
US.
She went off.
She was like, no. Do you agree with that?
If she started an ADOS fund?
Yes. She was against
I'm not sure. It depends on because it depends on the legal situation. It depends on if it's a sound economic investment. You don't want to just invest into something that's
$500 super chats. Does that sound economic investment?
That's a donation. So I don't. You can donate to the church. You can do anything with a donation. That's your money. That's not an investment. A donation is not an investment.
$25 is too much, but $500 on a super chat. Well, that's just a donation.
It is a donation.
Why are you taking $500 from them?
Because somebody gave her $500. That's a donation. You can do stuff like that.
You guys are so full of shit, man.
Okay, so if somebody donates to this chat right now, is that an investment?
That's the reason why I don't do my own show because I don't want to take nobody's money.
No, again, it's a donation. It's not.
No. But again, okay, this is the point I'm trying to make. Now, I guess the argument is black folks have no assets. Black folks don't have.
I just never said that.
We literally don't have as much wealth as you think we have.
Okay, so Yvette Carnell is asked by somebody, "Hey, Yvette, how about we put money together and create like an ADOS wealth fund where we could invest and acquire assets?" She said no and got upset.
She went off.
Okay, so
And you don't find a problem with that.
my issue with that is that one, you need a lot of expertise. Two, Yvette is not an economic fund manager. That's a you need.
Okay, bro. You don't
She got the data though.
You don't think Yvette and Tone don't have access to people who could count money?
Again, if they had a strong network and it was a sound financial thing, then maybe I might agree with it. It depends on what you're investing in. All of this is dependent on.
My thing is everything that ADOS is complaining about. Number one, so I guess ADOS is 4 roles, but not building their own studios. So Tone talks about how he has this relationship with Brian. What's his name? Byron Allen.
Byron Allen. Yeah.
Hey, Byron Allen, we would like to make our own ADOS only movies. He's so close with him. Pitched the idea. Create your own Harriet Tubman movie.
He has his own documentary.
Who?
Cracking the Freeway, or something like. Yeah, Tone talks.
Okay, I'm dealing with Rick Ross.
I mean, I haven't seen him, but I know he has his own documentary. So that's.
Well, yeah, I seen it with Freeway Rick Ross. I think he directed, but it wasn't his. It was actually an HBO documentary, but he directed it. But again, I'm just saying the issues that ADOs have. My thing is get started, build something, and then the reparations will be the cherry on the top. But all I hear is no. Let's just beg to the U.S. government to. It's
not begging to. Okay, if somebody steals your car, and you say, "Okay, I need my car back," is that begging? I don't understand this whole concept of begging.
No. But this is the point I'm saying. You can get your car back, but you still find a way to do what you need to do until you get your car.
Of course, and that's what we doing. Everybody's going to work. So are people literally not going to work? Are people not paying bills? Are people not doing jobs, getting an education? Is that not happening?
No. Again, the question is, you're saying that we don't own assets. Jay Morrison set up a fund so that we could have ownership.
Of
Yvette
what?
Carnell was asked to set up a fund, and she got mad.
And they was attacking Jay Morrison.
And this was attacking Jay Morrison. It's just like, come on.
Because Jay Morrison had legal loopholes in his documents. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I can't go into the specific. He literally.
You can't prove that, man. Prove it. Show it.
Tone literally did a video on it. You go watch the video.
Get the hell out of here, man. They don't have any credibility over here.
He's a lawyer. What are you talking about?
I don't give a dang, man. I don't give a dang if he's a lawyer.
Okay. Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
So what expertise do you have to this situation?
First of all, if he's a lawyer, he will understand. He will know historically that you can't get reparations from a country that has not been defeated in war. You cannot bring a reparations case against a domestic.
Okay, so then why did the Japanese people get reparations?
You know, you are not going to get.
Why did Japanese people get reparations?
Okay, let me. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me bring that.
You literally just said you can't bring a reparations case to the United States.
Let me school this. Let me school this kid. You know what I'm saying? Let me school the Dynast. Be patient. I know I'm wrong with it. Be patient. I'm gonna kill this right here.
Okay, but we got you got.
Dynast. Well, let me say that. But he brought it up. Let me finish.
Just get.
All right, let me finish this. Yo, the Japanese never got reparations. They got compensation. That was agreed to from a 1988 civil rights bill that they stuck in at the last minute, right? The Japanese only got $20,000 a piece. You know how much they lost? They lost billions of dollars, right? And the majority of the Japanese didn't even want it. They wouldn't accept it because it was not reparations. It was just one last little thing that some Japanese in a class lawsuit agreed to. That was not reparations. That was compensation. You know, for liable. Okay, we sorry we did this and everything, and some people agreed to it. That was not reparations. If they would give Japanese reparations for what they lost, Japanese will own half of San Francisco right now. That's reparations. The Japanese lost whole sections of cities and towns, and they got $20,000 apiece in 1988. Are you kidding me? That's reparations? No.
Okay. Here's my question for you.
Well, Bruce,
Okay.
let me ask you a question, Bruce. This is the question. So, do you think the system who has marginalized Black people for 400 years is gonna all of a sudden ensure that Black people put something in place to ensure that Black people have an even playing field?
All of this is dependent upon what ADOS, how many people we can galvanize and what we can do. Here's the thing. If it was really about white people against Black people, we would still be slaves. If it was really about white people against all Black people, we would have no rights to this day.
It is Black people against Black immigrants, though.
It's not Black people against Black immigrants. It's Black people against coonery and buffoonery. It's Black people against coonery and buffoonery.
Come on. No.
I have no issue with any African coming over here, but as soon as the Okada things get thrown out, as soon as there's a marginalization of African Americans, there's going to be an issue.
Dice, I can't wait till I get called Okada when I go to Africa. I can't wait. They'll say, "You Okada?" I'm like, "Yeah, my brother. I love you too."
All right, hold on 1 second. Freedom now. Hello. Oh man, the sound is just too bad. All right, hold on. Let me get C Red back. C Red. Oh, man. I just did the Cricket 1Gs, man. All right, Alfonso, you want to add to this?
No, well, I did want to ask the caller because, and I posed this question to other people that that are strong with the ADOS. I'm one that I don't believe that every ADOS person, Black American, would throw their money away frivolously, but I'm also trying to understand how would responsible individualism in regards to in regards to getting money, so being responsible, so that means starting the CD or putting it in a Fundrise or any of these things that we're going to do individually, because like I said, we're not collective anymore, and we don't even have a economic infrastructure. How would responsible individualism help us in a situation that we're in with less than 3% of the wealth? How would that help?
Individualism is not going to save us off the bat.
But that's what you're dealing with when you deal with us. That's you understand that, correct?
Expound upon that.
Because like I said we don't have an economic infrastructure, so we don't have anything to funnel our funds into, as as far as like a bank, or as far as into businesses, or as far as into things that can give our kids something. So when our kids start off, they start off with a median income of 100,000. They start off with the generational wealth. Well, not say kids, let's say grandkids. I'm saying how would us get into something and us practicing responsible individualism in regards to money? How would that build anything? Because I don't understand. That's what I want somebody to explain, because I don't understand that part.
My whole thing is, I don't think they're serious. He says Tone talks to the lawyer. If he's a lawyer, he would have figured all that shit out. There's no infrastructure even to negotiate a so-called reparation. First, it has to be done on an international stage, and then you have to claim nationality.
We're American.
The American flag and talk about reparations and everything, and then try to hold the Democratic Party hostage. I guess you agree with that too, Bruce. We're gonna stay home. We don't get a reparation. If you don't get a reparation check, are you voting in the next election?
Again, fighting.
Yes or no question. That was a yes or no question. I'm not trying to set you up. A yes or no question. If you don't get your reparation check, are you gonna withhold your vote?
Reparations is more than a check. First off. Secondly, if you really fighting for a policy and your political, whoever's running for office does not validate your political ideology, you shouldn't vote for them, period.
Let me ask you a question. There was a black guy who showed up at the Bernie Sanders event talking about reparations, and there was a black security guard tackled him to the ground and arrested him, just for showing up and said, "I
He
want."
didn't get arrested, but he got removed from the venue.
Oh,
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
So could it be that you guys are doing that to sabotage Democrats, or you guys are secretly working for?
We trying to get where they stand on the issue.
So
It's just that simple.
How come you're not going to Trump and the Republicans and doing the same thing?
You guys are pointing
Because
at-
Trump is an obvious racist. Why would I go to the KKK asking for a reparations check? Does that make any sense?
So
Trump is giving out. Trump wants that.
They
black
don't
vote.
need the Republican Party doesn't need black votes to win. You do understand that, right?
You know.
okay, well, okay, Kyle, let me interject. I'm confused now. Kyle asked a great question. So why aren't you guys showing up to the Republican Party? So let me ask you, are you guys okay? So
They don't need black people to be successful. They don't need the black vote.
Okay. So my question is, so I guess you're waiting for the Democrats to get into power. So you're going to hold the Democrat Party hostage. So they'll come to you guys so they can get into power and sign the reparations bill. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's the big plan.
Well, black people vote for the Democratic Party over 90%. So again, we have to use our leverage where it's going to be most effective.
But you say you're not voting. You say you're gonna hold your vote.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, so if we hold our vote, that sends a clear message. You guys gonna have to step up to the plate and do tangibles in order to get into a position of power. A lot of white politicians make hundreds of thousands of dollars. They need constituents.
Yeah, you
If you don't
guys,
have constituents, you're not gonna get in a position of power.
Y'all Negroes are crazy.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's then if I guess if you withhold your vote and that puts the Republicans in power and they continue to be in power, then how does that work? How does that work out? Shape out?
Because you're going to eventually get candidates who are going to be about your politics.
But they're gonna replace you with the Hispanics. Why do you think they're bringing all these millions of Hispanics here? They already replaced you with the
Okay, well they can replace us with Sheila Jackson and other candidates who are not about black people. You keep going back to Hispanics.
So the bottom line is, hey, look, bro, the black vote is a foregone conclusion in America. You have no political leverage. You know what I'm saying? Just forget it.
Okay, if we didn't have any political leverage, we wouldn't have got civil rights. What are you talking about?
So the bottom line, all of us talking about Bill, like Jay Morris, leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? Let him do his thing. The BAIO and all those other people dying in search for guru, let us do our thing. You guys are just trolling, trying to put that out there to try to.
How is asking for reparations trolling? How is demanding reparations trolling? Please tell me that.
You guys aren't serious. We know you guys. You just proved that you guys aren't really serious about this.
Okay. So if okay.
That's the end. You don't.
Let me ask you something. How do you plan on getting reparations then?
I'm like this.
I mean, my thing is, it's old, but I'm not sleep over it. Like it's old, but I'm not.
Let me say this. We get it.
We don't.
I mean, I didn't hear a solution from you.
Hold on. This is my plan. This is my plan, right? And like I said, I know less than 10% of people listen to this are nationalists. I do believe Black America needs their own state on the African continent. That's that host nation.
What
state.
African country is going to allow that to happen?
You don't worry about that. You let us decide that.
So
you know
that's very important.
First of all, hold up. Black people in America don't have any geopolitical entity. That state would have geopolitical power. That means you can have relations with the Chinese.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you just a simple question.
What?
Okay, if we have Pan-Africanism, why don't any African country say we're not going to trade with the United States? If Pan-Africanism really existed, if it really existed, why is there such divisions in Africa?
Let me say this.
It's very simple. No, they're not going to do anything for us. You know why? Because they're their own countries. They're their own people.
I know that.
They have to fight for their own people in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa. You do understand that, right?
The whole thing is, hold up. You cannot be talking about engaging African countries when African countries have diplomatic relationship with the United States. I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So if they were about black people, why are they continuing to trade with America?
What they'll do with the Black American and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The only time it's going to work is when they start seeing more of us show up on the continent, living on the continent, investing on the continent, everything like that. We're going to get their attention because they, in the end, say,
So you saying we should beg Africans to help us and fight for reparations?
No, we're not. Reparations at the end game. Reparations is just a icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? We need infrastructure. We need our own banks, shipping companies, our rail companies. We need infrastructure.
And how do we get the wealth to do that?
Well, the initial wealth has to come from us. We have an outflow in Black America, $1.2 trillion. Africa has.
You keep talking about spending power. That's not a measure of wealth.
Okay. Let me ask you, Bruce. How did Byron Allen build his $1 billion empire?
I'm not sure, but I can say this. I can say this specifically.
I'm gonna tell you how he started, but how do you think he built it?
By going to school, by getting wealth and building money, high income. You cannot just start owning stuff with low income.
Now,
off the bat.
Okay, no, he built it from scratch with nothing.
How? So he just bought some land with no money.
Yeah, like I said, he built it from scratch. I think he was a comedian. He took that money, he flipped. Basically, he flipped his money. And so my thing is, from hearing from what you're saying, you're making it seem as that's something that ADOS can do.
I'm not saying that's not. I'm not. But the majority, you keep talking about, but the majority of us don't have high incomes to flip houses, to buy into houses.
It started with nothing. That's the point I'm trying to make.
You can't own things with starting with nothing. This is not 1920. This is not 1910. We live in 2020.
Dude. Okay, listen. Okay, I was dead. Okay, when I first moved to LA, I was dead broke. All right, I was dead broke, living in a little small ass studio apartment.
Okay,
I got a job, started saving my money, started flipping my money.
How much did you get paid?
I was making 6 figures a year.
So that's a hell of a difference between black median income is like 30,000.
Okay, but the thing is, Tone Talks is a lawyer. I hope he's making 6 figures a year.
Okay.
But again, you're missing the point. Brian Allen started with nothing.
You cannot start with nothing.
He started with a little. Okay. He didn't have $1 million loan. He started with a little. I read a story.
Okay.
In fact, I want to say he went broke and had to move back in with his mom. Then he started all over. Had to start all over. He started with a little. My thing is, there is a movement called ADOS, and I do not understand why. When the idea of pulling money together, in building, like foreigners do when they come over here,
like the
susus. I don't understand why ADOS refuses to adopt the idea of a susu. That just makes absolutely no sense.
Nobody's rejecting that. But my issue is,
your leader said that do for self stuff don't work. We need a massive government intervention. Okay. She wants socialism.
Okay.
And white America take over Black America and start administering all this stuff.
We've been doing do for self for centuries. The issue is that white people have the ability to literally destroy everything that we've done.
Well, stop the show. So if white people have the ability to destroy everything that we're doing, then what's with the militant integrationism here in America? To give you equal status or make sure that you have an equal playing field. I'm confused.
That offers protection in and of itself. If black people are seen as citizens and we have the rights and respects that we are owed, then you're not going to destroy your own community. Like if we really live in an integrated society, why would white people destroy their own community?
There it goes. You want to? There we go. There we go.
American. Let me ask you something. Is integration wrong? We're not talking subversion. We're talking true integration. Not kissing white people's ass, not being servants. We're talking about equal playing field. That's what integration means. It means equal.
So you think they're going to give you equal playing field?
Okay. If we don't have an equal playing field, what do we have?
Alfonso, I need you to interject, Alfonso, because I just go ahead, Alfonso. What did you hear, Alfonso?
Well, and again, that's why I said trying to rehatch a failed, a failed program. When you talk about trying to be a part of somebody else's society, you're going to have to take the good with the bad. and that's what you're saying when you try to say that we're going to try to sit up and live amongst the people and take on the good and bad that comes that you also going to integrate into the attitudes them people have about you. We're not saying they're going to come and try to be a part of us. We're saying we're going to go and try to be a part of them. So
We're
our
not
kids
trying
are
to be
still
a
going to
part
continue.
of them.
Sir, what do you call trying to have true integration into their society?
True integration is a blend. It is not. It's a
might as well
blend.
go ahead and get ready for hardcore miscegenation. You might as well just go ahead and give your daughters over. You might as well just go ahead and fully
Okay.
genetically
Let me ask you a question.
integrate into their society, sir. That's all that's
So
gonna come
are
from
Asian
that. You're not gonna
Americans
come.
are Asian Americans integrated?
No.
So them people come from nations. They come from whole countries. We can't even compare ourselves to them. Them people come from Japan, China.
Okay.
You can't compare yourself to them.
But here's the thing. They come from their own countries, but in America, in the political, social, economic structure,
They don't vote.
they are they do vote.
Asians, where do you see Asian politicians or them or TV? They
literally got it. Andrew Yang is literally running for president.
You know, most Asians, they stay to themselves, and they've got networks. They speak in their own language.
If they weren't politically organized, they wouldn't have a lawsuit against Harvard right now. Like, what are you talking about?
That lawsuit went nowhere because you know who was putting that lawsuit up? It was white racists doing that. It was white racists. See, you're trying to interject here, but we got smart people on this panel. It's white.
Is that politics?
Hold. It was a white racist guy who was trying to make the argument that he's trying to get rid of so-called quotas and preferences and everything by saying that Asians are being discriminated, right? And then when it came out that it's not Asians being discriminated, it was a white guy trying to say this because he wants allies in the Asian community. You know?
Is that politics though?
That was debunked. It wasn't Asians pushing that. It was a white racist.
Yeah, but that's still politics. That's still politics, bro.
Hold on, let me get C-Red on. C-Red, get yourself together. Get your make sure your 1G is on and off, and you're on 4G. And okay, here we go. C-Red, go ahead. C-Red, come on, man. C-Red. See the echo and everything.
All right. So the issue is about economics, correct? Well, it doesn't even make sense. I don't even understand.
See, I actually just can't get it together. All right, Bruce, go ahead.
Okay. There's just so many. There's so much confusion. Black people, we don't have any wealth. In order for us to have a future, we need to have reparations. Why? So we can get wealth. So we can fund businesses, get houses, so on and so forth. It's necessary for our future.
Stop the show. Per C-Red, we already have that through affirmative action.
Affirmative action. He didn't even say that. No, he did not say affirmative action was reparations.
He said, I got my house because of affirmative action, and I got my job. So I have access to wealth because of affirmative action. So you
have access to opportunity. Opportunity and wealth are two different things.
Oh, okay. So you want basically the U.S. government to give us a check, help us set up shop so we could be on an even playing field.
We're owed that.
Not give.
It's not a give. We're owed that. Why are we owed that? They destroy our businesses. They lynch people. They destroyed 60 black communities. So again, we've already built our own communities. They destroyed it.
Yeah,
we're owed reparations.
We know that, but the whole thing is this, though. We pledged allegiance and we swore to be a part of the system. We had the chance in the 60s. Are we Americans or are we just Africans living in America?
We're Americans.
Hold on, right? When you said we're Americans, that basically took away the UN claim of, like Malcolm X said, human rights. We're no longer an international issue. We're a domestic issue. So you want to take away the international part of it by saying making it a human rights issue. See, let me give you an example. Just the other day, a illegal alien was killed by the police by accident. The guy went into the wrong house, right? The state of Mississippi says, according to the 13th, 14th Amendment, he has no rights, civil rights. He has no rights. You know what I'm saying? Because America, because he so what about human rights? America doesn't recognize human rights.
He's an illegal immigrant. You can't compare an American citizen to an illegal immigrant.
Because he's a citizen. He's not a citizen. he's not entitled to constitutional protection. Now, other countries around the world are way more progressive than America is. That means if you're a citizen or not, you have rights under the law. You know what I'm saying? Protections. Now, certain states will enforce it. Like New York, you go to New York, San Francisco, if you're an illegal alien, they'll protect you and everything under human rights laws and everything like that. But on the whole, America does not have to guarantee you human rights. You know, they have to guarantee constitutional civil rights.
They're not citizens.
It doesn't matter. They're human beings. You know, the whole idea.
If you break into a country, you can go to prison.
The 14th Amendment was if you're a human being inside the United States or to have human civil rights.
Okay, we're not gunning illegal immigrants at the border. We're jailing them. That's literally respecting their human rights to a degree. I'm sorry, like that's just not a real thing. That's just a talking point.
The overall point I'm trying to make is you basically saying asking for reparations is talking about.
We're not asking for reparations.
Demanding reparations.
There we go.
Okay, now would you forfeit your U.S. citizenship for that?
What? No, like that's not a
domestic. You know what I'm saying? It goes back into domestic. That's why you had that HR 40 bill. Why? Because they said, "Oh, if you want to talk about
citizen
human council, that means you got to get enough black people to swear allegiance to another state or disavow their American heritage." Okay. Black people didn't want to do it at the time, right? So they made it a domestic issue and they brought it through the Congress and legislature. It's been sitting there ever since. So you guys are the ADOS and think you're reinventing the wheel when we've been down this road before.
Yeah, I really don't know what point you're trying to make, to be honest.
Well, I think you do. You know, I think you do.
I'm confused as to like, okay, so I'm not. Again, I really don't understand. Just help me out. What point are you trying to make again?
I'm saying that you're inside the United States. You swear allegiance to the United States. You wear the American flag. You upload like that. That's it. Forget about reparations. Now you can say we should be compensated. The government should be more sensitive, and the government should be more sensitive. Donald Trump offered you that. You know, he said, "Okay, let's see what we can do. Create enterprise zones." You guys rejected that. You guys said, "No, we don't want no Trump. Trump, this, that, and the other thing." So he's like, "Man, I said, you know, let's invest in the inner cities and let's put part of enterprise." He's a businessman. You guys don't want that, so you guys will. I want reparations.
I mean, we do that every day. You got barbershop. We invest in our own communities every day. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough wealth.
You know who benefits from enterprise zone in the city? Non-black people, white females.
They set up shop in our communities because they have wealth to do that.
No. We have people out there that know how to do grants and some everything. We just don't have the political thing because every time we start talking about doing something business, black people are so jealous of each other, so we don't get behind it. God forbid if one other black person get up on us. We're the first ones to tear each other down. You know? And then
so it's more black on black. It's literally black on black crime you keep talking about, dog.
Ellis Negroes sitting on YouTube all day, seeing how we can tear everybody. That whole Jay Moore situation told me exactly what majority of you Negroes all about. Brothers doing the right thing, teaching people how to do the right thing, and y'all trying to tear him down.
He has a legal loophole in his. Okay,
stop the show, Bruce. Everyone can access that legal loophole. That's the point we're trying to make. And
so is that right for him to do that? I mean, you keep talking about like, oh, he's doing it for the community. Well, if he was really doing it for community, he would have like guaranteed percentages. Every person will get a guaranteed percentage of the profit.
What are you talking about? They're invested. They got stocks.
It's an investment.
Is it a public option?
What are you talking about? Public option has to do with healthcare. What are you talking about?
Is it again? Is it?
You know what a public option is, bro?
It's private.
You know that word you don't understand.
Right,
you know what a public option is?
Okay.
Public option is on the healthcare bill. You have a public option, and you have.
Is Google a public stock? You again? All right, I ain't gonna argue with this one.
No, Bruce. Hold on, Bruce. This thing. If you want to invest in it, go invest in it.
Okay.
And all I'm saying is ADOS could do the same thing.
And then people take you seriously.
And then acquire assets
seriously.
Yeah. Okay. My issue is that there's no guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed. It's flimsy.
Okay, so but Bruce, what is stopping ADOS to putting a fund together and acquiring assets until this whole reparations thing gets worked out? That's my question. Because if it's about assets, Yvette Carnell, Tone, Tariq, they have a following. Hey guys, there's assets that we can acquire. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, there's a city here in Georgia that's for sale for like $1 million.
Oh, wow, yeah.
A whole city. Hey guys, we want to acquire assets. There's a city for sale. Let's put our money together. Let's go buy the city. And
And
then,
how do you got to talk about, again, land, division, contracts. Again, if I buy a percentage of the house, do I live in one room? If I buy a percentage of a house, do I live in one room? Again, ownership of businesses is going to be singular off the bat. Two, how can you divide a house with different people? Like I'm confused as to like, well, buy a city. Okay, well, a city is made up of contractors, it's made up of houses, made up of businesses.
And that's the question, Bruce. That was the question I was trying to ask you. Is that we keep getting back to responsible individualism when it comes back to our culture of dealing with commerce, and I'm not understanding how we can build generational wealth practicing responsible individualism. I still not understanding how this works, because when we look at the upcoming groups here, they're cornering markets as a collective, and they're able to corner markets and push us out of certain markets and acquire certain things as communities. But we're sitting here talking about responsible individualism. How does a responsible individualism going to work to create generational wealth for us? And we're still trying to live with the legacy of being integrated to that society. That's all I'm trying to understand.
Okay. And that's why we have ADOS. We need to have a community. We need to have a code. We need to have an understanding of who we are and what we need to accomplish. That's why we have ADOS.
That's all vague and abstract. Again, you assets. Put your money together. You have the opportunity to own assets as a collective, and you're saying no. Instead, we're gonna. It's all about hashtags.
We got no money.
No. You said it's about assets. I gave you an idea how to acquire those assets. You said no. So now we're back to vague and abstract hashtags and meetings and YouTube live stream.
Nah. That's dumbing. That's really dumbing it down. When I talk about assets, I'm talking about actual hard assets. Like, what am I going to get in return? What am I going to get in return? If I send money to Jay Morrison, what's in the contract for me?
Okay, forget Jay Morrison. Hold on. Forget Jay Morrison. Forget Jay Morrison. Okay, forget Jay Morrison. Hold on. Forget Jay Morrison. Forget Jay. Forget Jay Morrison. You said the issue is that ADOS does not have assets. What I'm saying,
we don't have wealth.
Okay, wealth. And you develop wealth through assets, correct?
Ownership of assets.
Okay, ownership of assets. What I'm saying is, as a collective, there is a huge number of individuals who are behind or part of the ADOS movement. You put together a fund, and then you acquire those assets, which builds wealth. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm not reinventing the wheel. People do that. Alfonso, do people do this all the time, Alfonso?
Yes.
Okay. So when we talk about assets and wealth, there is not a specific like Korean fund for Koreans. They invest in whatever they see as is a good investment.
Okay.
So we do the same thing. If you're trying to buy a barbershop, we literally are doing that right now. You're going to invest in a fund, a firm that's going to handle your money appropriately. And it's not about Koreans. There's no individuality with that. You know what I'm saying?
Alfonso, do you understand what he's saying, Alfonso? I think we're making this.
I'm not. And Bruce is not to be funny. Bruce is not to be funny, but I'm not understanding.
I have no clue what you're talking about, Bruce. I'm asking Alfonso. I have no clue what you're talking about. Like, I'm just saying, you said assets plus ownership equals wealth. We're lacking assets. Put your money together and go acquire assets.
Okay, we do that with buying houses.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that's start. Well, okay, go ahead.
But yeah, we already do these things. I'm confused as to like the confusion is.
So what are we complaining about then?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
America owes us a debt. That we're owed reparations. Nobody's saying that we're not doing the things that we need to do. We're already doing it.
Bruce, let me say something. This is the issue right here, right? The whole ADOS thing happened after the so-called movie Black Panther came out, right? Black Panther came out, right? I was on there. I was actually friends with that because
I can't hear you.
See, Red, hold on 1 second. See, Red, you gotta retire, bro. I bring you in, just the
whole idea is when Bette Cardell did Breaking Brown, she broke away from Boyce Watkins and everything right there. She kept getting annoyed with people talking about doing for self, right? Go back in her tapes and whatnot. Before, when she was with Boyce Watkins, she never mentioned reparations. She never mentioned it.
Okay.
When she got all about on her own and whatnot, she had to have a catch. And she started talking about the government owes us, right? And gradually it morphed into reparations. She got with a bunch of people that was a ready-made market that talked about reparations. Then she sort of co-opted it. And that's why she met that Antonio Moore.
Reparations been going on for hundreds of years, though.
Hold on. The reparations movement has been dormant. The only time you hear it is every once in a while you go on 125th Street, New York, right? And you put a mic into some dude's face when he's hungry. You know what I'm saying? He's we want to reparate. He's beaten up and whatnot. You feel for that brother, because he's been through it. You know what I'm saying? You say, I want reparations. Of course, I'll take $50 out of my pocket here, bro. We can't get a reparation, but here's $50 or whatever. We understand the anger, the pain that our people suffered when we're all angry about reparations. But the bottom line, people who are responsible, who saying, okay, we live in New York City, or live in if they really want to talk about reparations, right? Why don't they start with the companies that's still around that had owned slave, Aetna? You know what I'm saying? Who I work for, you know what I'm saying?
Because we're going to
hold on. You guys are not talking about that. You guys are deliberately targeting the political process, right? As to thwart the election for Donald Trump, I believe, right? If you were talking about reparations, now the case can be made with Bank of America, all this, that slavery was legal at the time, right? But there was a black man in South Carolina who sued this company, and he won 40 acres and a mule. You heard about that, Diane, right? He got 40 acres and a mule. So individual cases could be made, okay? There's a lot of black people who are direct descendants who never benefited from America. I would start with those black people in the rural South, right? Places in places like in parts of Maryland, DC. Okay. Those black people who've never been. Never. You can see. You go to parts of Florida, northern Florida, Jacksonville, where the poverty, Augusta, Florida, is so entrenched with that. It should be not even any question that there should be a special consideration for those direct descendants of African slaves who were enslaved. That should happen immediately before anybody else talk about getting a dime. Because we got people who are still suffering the effects of slavery in America. But no, people don't talk about that. Everybody thinks they're gonna sit there driving around in nice cars. I want my reparations check. I want my reparations check. Are you suffering right now? No. Do you benefit from the society? Do you get along? Or then try something else. Let's worry about the less fortunate in Black America. The less fortunate. Let's take care of the less fortunate. And we've always had a Black America where it's people, once they get their degree, they get their money up on top and everything, it's all about them. And that's what
that's actually a very conservative talking point. There are people again. I have family with degrees who have consistently helped cousins and nephews and nieces with car payments. We give back to our own community like no other.
That's
with our opportunities that we have. Secondly,
Diane just told you about how guys, if you guys want a little bit more money in your pocket, you be supporting things like Jay Morris and other people who are making money. There's all kinds of brothers. There was the brothers the other day, a bunch of young brothers say $50 a year, and they bought their first building. You know, there's people doing that all over America. You know, but Yvette Carnell and all these people, she dismisses that. Oh, that ain't gonna do nothing. That bank ain't got the money.
that's not going to save. That's not going to help the majority of black people. Like that's why we have the issue of reparations. We're trying to help millions of African Americans. ADOS
doesn't give a dang about millions of black people. She wants to use that as a register to attack anybody that's doing anything. Robert Smith gave out $40 million, then came back and gave.
Okay, stop the show, Colin. Stop the show. Robert Smith gave out $40 million to pay off college tuition debt. Wow. Do you think Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell are happy about that?
They gave him props for that, but the issue is that what about?
No.
That's not going to stop. That 40 million is not going to stop the next generations of African Americans going into these HBCUs.
It's something.
That's like, awesome. Nobody said that. That's not. Nobody's saying that you shouldn't do that. What we're
Tone Talk was like, well, you know, they ain't pay everybody's college debt off, so you know that's not fair. It's like, come on, man.
No, again, but that's just a critical. That's just a critical observation. Like, yeah, that's not going to help everybody. We need to have
people that run the ADOS don't give a damn about black people. You know what I'm saying?
He literally gave props to him. Like, yeah, that's a good thing that he did. But at the same time, that's not going to help every person at HBCU. We need to. Go ahead, man.
But, and nobody, you can't convince me that these people. I don't know what about everybody ADOS. I think people mean well. I see so many people in the chat room when they seem like they mean well and everything like that. Leave that movement alone. It's misguided. It doesn't care about black people and everything like that. You know, they're anti-black. You know.
Okay. You got a lot of conservatives talking like charity is not sustainable.
Whoa, dude. Yvette Carnell's conservative.
No, she's
not.
She was on a conservative talk. She was on a conservative.
We got evidence, man.
No, she's not.
She was on a conservative.
Y'all lying.
Hold on. Let me pull up the receipt.
Please go ahead. Is reparations conservative? Can y'all answer me that?
No. Carnell is conservative.
That's just a friggin' prop. You know what I'm saying?
She's literally worked for the Democratic Party. Like she. All right. Again, if reparations isn't a conservative movement, isn't a conservative concept, how does she? She preaches reparations.
It's a golden pony. She's riding in on a Trojan horse. You know what I'm saying?
And we demanded justice and reparations and justice for hundreds of years. Reparations is this a
game is and whatnot. But then I know when I look at people and look what they say, I know when people are serious or not.
Okay. So I guess Yvette doing videos, getting data, trying to create a system of justice. She got a conference Friday.
You have to have before you have data.
I guess you're not serious.
You have to take the data.
Come on now.
Intelligence and make it into information. You get data all over the place, whatever. But if you don't know how to put it together and whatnot and measure it, I'm saying you don't have anything.
That's exactly what Yvette and Tone are doing. They're literally giving out data. They're literally talking to an economist, Sandy Darity, about the wealth of black people and what we're owed. That's facts. These are facts.
That there's no way politically in America that they will ever get reparations, and they know that.
Okay. So basically, you're basically saying we'll never get reparations because the white men. So you basically saying because white people are God, we shouldn't fight against them. What type of talking point is this?
Public. He controls the Congress. He controls the presidency. He controls everything else.
But you don't have a country, though.
You can't even get a police officer who murdered somebody in cold blood a life sentence.
So if we can't get that, how are we going to get a nation? Come on.
How are we going to get a nation?
How
we going to get a nation, though?
We've already had one.
How? Where is the nation? Where's Africanistan?
It's called Liberia.
Well,
that's not Africanistan.
I'm saying we built one before.
You built one before. It's called Liberia.
Okay, so why don't we have automatic citizenship for every Black American in America?
Hey, the bottom line.
You know why? Because as soon as the African Americans went back to Africa, there was tribal division off the bat.
The difference between you and me is this: I don't tell people stop what you're doing, focus on nationalism. I say,
okay,
Mark, you're doing things good. You know what I'm saying? Robert Smith, you're doing things go. I don't go attacking other people who's doing stuff because they don't support what I'm doing. That's what.
Why don't we have automatic citizenship in Liberia?
It's not going to happen.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? That you ask them that.
Okay, so you're basically saying we created our own country that we can't go to.
So
can I ask Bruce a question?
I'm not on record attacking every time somebody Black actually accomplished something. Black Panther was a success. Yvette Carnell, Black people spending all this money.
Why don't we have automatic citizenship in Africa?
We ain't got no money, whatnot, you know.
If we were really Africans, why don't we have automatic citizenship in every country in Africa?
The biggest grossing superhero movie in history. You know, Black Theme.
You can't answer that question, dog.
African Americans together. They were complaining about.
There is no African country that have fought for Black Americans in America.
They talk about Africans playing African American roles. Tone Talk said that Lupita is not African American, so she shouldn't play like that. We're a different race. He called her a different race. Yvette Carnell said she's Irish.
She's a different ethnicity, of course. Now, again, I don't know this race thing, but yeah, she's a different ethnicity.
They said we're a different race.
Kyler, hold on. I'm gonna because I'm about to go to bed. Alfonso, voice of reason. Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I wanted to ask, since and like I said, I'm not knocking ADOS if they don't, want to do the African thing or whatever. But would y'all support in just a Puerto Rico or like a dominion, a domain of our own, a state of our own, something that we can actually go somewhere and have a homogeneity and be in control? No, hold on. I'm saying that we've done it and we've learned from the mistakes of the past. I'm saying, even if it was just for the sake of argument, even if it was like, well, can you cut out Mississippi as a sovereign nation, or can you cut out a nation like Puerto Rico for us, so our kids can be somewhere and have something that's for them, so we can have something that's for us 100%.
We're entitled to all of
playing
America.
This game.
Sir,
okay, sir.
America, it's literally that simple.
America, when you talk about America, you talking about it's not, you have to deal, you have other groups here. Everybody has to be.
So that's exactly why we should fight for reparations and fight for ourselves, because we have other groups fighting for theirs. So if we have other groups fighting for theirs, what's the issue about us fighting for ours?
Yo, check this out. Now, check this out.
Hold on. So basically, you it's all jockeying for position under white supremacy. That's all it is.
So our Nigerians, our Haitians, are they not doing that?
And then jockeying for position where the dominant society has already classified as you as the last.
Who's not doing that? We live in a global economy. There's called global competition. Are the Chinese people not doing that? Are the Japanese people not doing that? What confusion is it that y'all don't understand that? I don't understand. There's global competition. By everybody.
Okay, but the difference between the Nigerian and the Chinese, they have their own nation.
Okay, so we don't have our, again, why do they have their own nation? Because they fought, killed other Africans for their own plots of land, and they had Europeans come into Africa and split literally land, and that's why there's still division to this day.
So you're saying that we're gonna somehow fight the U.S. white man with less than 3% of the wealth, and don't even have our own minds, don't even have the power of ourselves, and we're gonna somehow pry this land away from the U.S. white man somehow. That's what you're saying. When that's never been done in history, no people that have been formerly slaves. You said what now?
There's no African country there. Where's the support? Where's our support from other countries?
I'm not making that argument. I'm making the argument. You say you want to deal domestically with the U.S. government. I'm saying that I'm saying, would it be better?
Here.
And you say, I asked you a question. I said, would you want a state of your own? This is for the sake of argument. If we was to say, well, we get, say for the sake of argument, we get this money, we get these funds, and we said, instead of trying to sit up among other people and throw our money right back into the people's hands. We concentrate our money into Mississippi. We concentrate in building the infrastructure in Mississippi or Georgia. And we say we want this state cut out for us. So we're going to corner the market in these two states. We're going to force out the peoples that how we're being forced out in California and these different places by other foreigners. We're going to force out these other people, and we're going to start an infrastructure so we have something to concentrate our funds into, so we can build something that we can pass down to our kids and our grandkids. What's the angle if you're not going to make the money worth anything? If you're going to try to sit up and be integrated, and now it's the thing to destroy what you had. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Would you be in agreement to something like that, a state of our own?
We live in an economy where multiple products come from different places. Corn.
Okay, Bruce, you're not
technology.
Bruce, you're not answering the question. His question, you're not answering this question, Bruce.
Okay. Let me be specific. If we have our own state, right? Mm-hmm. How do we trade with America?
Sir, it's easy to trade. You can have a state of your own and trade with foreign entities. Sir,
with what resources?
Okay, all right. Because again,
for the sake of argument, why is Mississippi one of the poorest? Why is Mississippi one of the poorest states in America?
Sir, that has the highest concentration of black people. I believe it's 21%. If I'm not, and
it has the highest concentration of black poverty in the United States. Why?
No, I'm saying I said that state for a certain reason. I'm saying for the sake of argument, if we were to gather our funds in the sake, say for the right now, and if for the sake of argument, we got some type of compensation from the U.S. government, and we said instead of sitting up, trying to be integrated and throwing our money right back into the hands of the people and not really being and practicing our responsible individualism and nothing coming from it, let's try to channel our funds into a state.
Real quick, Alfonso, and correct me if I'm wrong. Are you basically saying that right now, currently in the condition we're in, that there's really no black community?
I mean, it's a place where we're all at, but we don't own it. The Arabs have it, or the Lebanese, I should say, the Koreans have it. I'm saying it's a place where we all are at, but it's not an actual community. It's just a place where we're just there. Right. You know,
right.
So I'm saying, if we said we want to have a state where we can actually build a base of power.
So, Alfonso, real quick. So what you're saying is that, say we get reparations, and you brought this up before, we get a check. Where actually are we going to put this money where we can build as a community? And right now we have no strategy for that. Is that what you're saying?
That's one of my main points. That's why I asked him about the responsible individualism. Because the baby boomers did that, and look at us now with nothing. You know, so I mean, we got to look at what is transpired. We only gonna build on the foundation. We're only gonna build on a foundation of we only gonna end up building something that could be snatched right away from us. I didn't hear you.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Okay, if we get reparations, what are we going to do with the money? We should obviously invest in our own communities. I don't believe in concentrating all of black wealth into one location. We need to be as diverse in around America as possible. We need to be in California. We need to be in New York. We need to be everywhere in the United States.
It's a rap in California, fam.
I understand that, but California has Apple and Google. Like, there are massive, like Texas has oil. There are different industries in different spots in America that we need to be a part of because we use oil for cars. We can't just have all the people in Mississippi like, okay, well, where do we get our oil? Oh, we gotta go to Texas. We still have to do business everywhere in the United States. It's a American economy. You cannot have your own economy.
You're missing my point. We're in those areas, and that's not making a difference. You missing. We
don't have any ownership in wealth. That's why it's not making a difference.
Okay,
so if we get reparations, we need to take part in those and those assets and that wealth. We can't just all flee to one area. That doesn't make any sense.
Why are the most successful groups? Why do they seem to find each other, or why do they seem to practice these group economics wherever they're at? I mean, what would you say to that? You know, because I'm trying to understand, you know, like how being, you know, spread out and trying to be among other people is going to work.
Okay,
When
we do
the
this.
most
We
successful
literally do this.
groups
When you
are
go to a barbershop, how many black barbers do you see in a barbershop? We literally do the same thing that they do. What are you talking about?
Okay.
We hire ourselves. We do the same thing.
so
Okay.
have we cornered market? Have we cornered the
Yeah,
black
yeah.
hair
Okay,
supply
hold on,
market? Have we cornered that market?
Hold on, Alfonso. Okay, you're Bruce. You're right. We do control the black barbershop. I mean, black barbershops are black owned. We do control that. But continue, Bruce or Alfonso.
No, what I'm saying is that it is that something that we could take to next week. That's been something we had what we say, 40 years, 50 years. But is that something that we have taken to the next level without an actual hub, an actual base place?
Nope.
Again, you talking about individual companies. Like, is a Korean nail salon hooked up to the entire Korean like network? Again, that's
Actually,
Yes, they are.
Actually, they are. It
Yeah.
might be a different business name, but they are all hooked up to the same network. In fact,
Okay. So that's why we should have ADOS, right?
Yeah, but what you're saying is, what I'm saying is, okay, I agree. So how about ADOS starts a fund so we can at least get started? You're saying we ain't got no money.
How effective is that going to be versus fighting for reparations? Because again, if we start funds, right, we got to have transparency, and we got to have an actual like models and game plans. You get what I'm saying?
So when you get reparations, you're counting that the transparency and the models and game plans are going to be there.
Of course, it should be there.
But you're saying, so basically you have to get the government involved to have transparency and models. But you saying that as a collective right now, ADOs, they just can't do it.
It's far too much corruption. Everybody's not on code with ADOS. That's the confusion.
I said ADOS starts their own ADOS fund.
Okay, I have no issue with that.
Okay, so why have we been arguing this whole time then, Bruce?
I don't know.
They slow. They don't understand what reparations is.
Yeah, I don't know what reparations is.
No, set the reparations aside until reparations come. Okay, should ADOS start their own fund and start acquiring properties?
Are we not doing that now?
No, I said ADOS as a collective. Not like Alfonso said, not on this individualism shit. I'm talking about ADOS as a collective.
I mean, it's possible, but again, it depends on how transparent it is. It depends on it depends on how financially stable it is. Again, whatever fund it is, it's all dependent on transparency. And we all had to be on code with ADOS. I have no issue with that.
But you do realize that people who are per Darity or whatever, who aren't on code with ADOS, are going to get reparations check because of the mere definition of ADOS.
I understand that, but at the same time, it's like it is what it is. Like if you're not on code, that's on you, and that's how it should work. So if you're not on code and you're not with ADOS movement, and you try to do business with other people, like you're gonna get the short end of the stick. Like they're gonna cheat you and trick you. So again, yeah.
But you're saying right now ADOS is a collective, I guess, aren't on code and can't do business as a collective.
We don't have enough people who identify with ADOS. ADOS is a new emerging thing. You need millions of black people to be on code in agreeing with ADOS, like our heritage, our lineage, our ideology.
Dude, Jay Morrison raised $12 million without 1 million people.
And where is that money going? Nobody knows where that money's going.
The people who invested the money know where it's going.
No, they don't. I mean, it's just the truth.
So the people who invested the money. So okay, do this. Find somebody who invested the money that you know personally that has no clue where their money is going.
When you put your money in the bank, where does it go?
No, Bruce, you're moving the goalposts. Find somebody who invested into Jay Morrison's fund that has absolutely no clue where their money is going.
Again, I don't know anybody who's it personally invested in it.
So then how can you say that then, Bruce?
Because he has nothing to show for it. That's why.
Are you part of the fund?
Tariq Nasheed invested in it. He invested $1,000 in it.
Okay, and did Tariq come out and say, I have no clue where my money is going, and Jay has nothing to show for it? Did he say that? And if he did, post the link.
He didn't say where his money went.
Okay, so Bruce, now you're assuming things.
What does Jay Morrison have to show for it? Like, well, what is there? What's the tangible?
Bruce,
show me the tangible proof. Show me the tangible proof. Like, oh, this is going to get you a return.
Bruce, you're not part of you're not an investor. So your opinion doesn't matter. The investors are not complaining unless there's something I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure if Tariq thought he was getting fucked over, he would have said something about it.
He did.
What did he say? He said he got screwed over. He's getting screwed over with his fund. And again, I asked you, post the link.
Okay. I'm gonna find the video. I'm gonna look into it.
So okay, you're gonna look into it. So you don't know if he said it.
No, he definitely said that in one of his videos.
That he's getting fucked over by
he just basically said, like, he gave him $1,000. Oh, and okay. Jay Morrison said, we're in business together. He was like, yeah, don't do that. Because he has no idea how his money is being managed. And that's with every investor. If you invest in something, you really don't know how your money is being spent. That's literally how investing works, unless you actually own. Go ahead.
You have money in the bank?
Again, how do banks move money? They literally buy.
Hold on. Simple question. Do you have money in the bank?
Of course.
All right. Do you know how your money is being used and loaned out every second? Did the bank tell you that?
Of course not.
Of course not. Same thing when you are an investor, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's up to you. People have a thing, they invest in things, they're part of stock. Crowdfunding, right? You're part of things. I remember we did this with the Kemetic pipeline years ago. I've done it before. People own pieces of a stock and everything. New law loophole allows people to use crowdfunding to buy real estate. That's big and major, right? And all Jay Morris did was take advantage of that new rule, but you can use crowdfunding, right? Online crowd platform to raise capital, initial capital to purchase property as principal, right? And people buy the property, they buy 10 shares, right, of stock, 10 shares of stock in a thing, right? For what, $500, right? They could buy more, right? As the property grows and collects revenue and everything like that, the stock is rated up and down, right? If the property is doing well, is well maintained, rents are being paid, and all stuff like that, the value of the stock goes up. The person could sell that stock, right? Or they could just collect dividends. It's an investment. They could take that stock, put it in a portfolio, and invest in other stocks. That's wealth. Then they could pass it on to other generations as long as they own that property and building. And the bottom line is up to the management of the property, make sure the property is upkept, the taxes, all that stuff, like rents collect, and everything. It's simple things that we should have been doing for a long time. We would have so many black people with wealth and everything, and we could maybe be in a position to help other people around the world. But
we've done that for centuries.
We got to hold this. We got to stop what we're doing, right? We got to stop what we're doing and sit around and talk about a reparations check.
Nobody's stopping going to work trying to talk about reparations. We all going to work. We all doing our jobs. We're all.
You're influenced by Yvette Parnell. I watched her grow, right? She was talking about all different types of stuff and everything like that, right? And then when all of a sudden, when the movie Black Panther came out, and when black people talked about spending all this money, she got mad and said, why we spend all this money on this movie and blah, blah, we don't have that money and everything. And people were like, we're going out seeing a movie. We like seeing Black Panther. The movie she said the movie wasn't going to make anything. She thought it was going to bomb. The movie was successful. Then she ended up going, I went seeing it. I saw it. But after that, right, the people were like, yeah, I like Ryan Coogler. See how he got $200 million. But their whole thing was, black people don't get no budgets. Black people don't get no budgets, Black Hollywood, he got the biggest budget any black person ever got to make a film. He got $200 million, which is groundbreaking.
Okay, hold
Instead
up.
of
What
saying,
did Yvette specifically say?
hold on, let's build on that, right? Okay, let's say we could
Okay,
support.
hold on, Carla. Yvette is a misery merchant.
She's a misery merchant.
That's the
Okay.
best of it. Just
Come on now, guys.
She's
Come
a
on.
misery merchant. She
she's
loves
a
misery.
misery merchant. I mean, outside of it's either reparations or be a misery merchant. That's
I mean, the facts of a Black American life is misery and suffering. At the end of the day, we have to fight for reparations.
And can I add on something also on that?
And for those people who think like that and whatnot, I don't want.
We have Black homelessness in LA. There's Black people getting terrorized every second. At the end of the day,
like that. Why are you living vicariously? Are you that much of a loser that you always look at people who are losing? Why don't you identify with winners? And then we create winners. Jay Morris is a winner.
What metric are Black people winning in?
You just said you don't like Jay Morris or whatever, but you said
what metric are Black people winning in?
Through misery.
Per C Red, since I got a job via affirmative action and a home loan via affirmative action, I'm winning.
I said Black people. What metric are Black people ADOS winning in?
And I told C Red as a collective, ADOS aren't winning as a collective. No.
Okay. But as an individual, I'm doing great.
Yeah, individual. I'm doing very well.
And let me.
So should we not be fighting for everybody to get reparations if other Black people are suffering?
Well, the bottom line.
But let me give you an example. Let me add a quick question, Kyler, real fast.
Guys, let me say this, right? O'Shea was having shows, right? He had all these people that did everything. Remember, was it Erica Williams? Showing people how to invest money, this, that, and the other thing, right? She even would get in a plane, go to Black people, say, we can do it. We can show you how you get your credit score, bit by bit. No, guess what we have? More people like Bruce. No, I don't want to get my credit score right.
Those are tactics.
You know?
We're talking strategy.
We have people out there, and the other guy that's on the show, I forgot his name. Brilliant brother. He said, man, he stay up YouTube a lot. But the bottom line, he said, yeah, we help people get their credit, get business loans, boom, boom, boom. We got people that get into all kinds of business. We got a brother that was on there that showed Bill how to get into trucking and get their skills of welding, make $150,000 a year welding. We have all these Black people that are helping other Black people plug in to the system and get better. While you can say, yeah, we are reparations. But what you see and when you listen to Yvette Cardell is, woe is me.
She's not doing that, dog. Nobody's throwing shade at anybody who's doing good work.
That's me right now.
Nobody's throwing shade.
And can I add on something that just happened that I think that we not also noticing?
Go ahead, Alfonso.
Because I remember when I believe Tone Talks, he did a show on Jay Morrison. It was some rumbles from the ADOS, they're following about Jay Morrison. And I want to just point out, because see that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, we have a situation here when something else comes up, we immediately are what I call Negro skeptical, Negro critical of what I heard people being, like you said, Tone Talk critical of Robert Smith and that money that he gave out. And I'm saying that sometimes we need to me, I think that it would be more valuable for us to be put into a position where we are forced to lean on each other, where we are forced to be a functioning free people that has to lean on each other, has to trust each other, and has to survive. That's
why we have ADOS.
That has to survive, to have to deal with us, so we can survive as a people. And that legacy is not going to be here in America. We are always going to be against each other. We is always going to have this thing with this competition as long as we accept this legacy that we accept. That's why I'm not against necessarily going somewhere where we brought down to the wilderness of the people, or where you go down to somewhere because you're gonna be forced. You're gonna be forced. We're gonna be forced to be a people. We're gonna be forced to deal with each other and lean on each other. That's the thing about it. When we get this money, we gonna fall right back into responsible individualism. That's what we gonna focus. I don't trust the nigga. I ain't gonna get him.
Reparations can come into many different forms. It can come into housing grants. It's not just a cash payment. Reparations can come in many forms to help rebuild the community. It's not just a check. That's not what reparations is. Reparations is holistic.
That's the main thing that they want, sir. That's the main thing that they have on their site.
That's a part of reparations. Yeah, you should get a check, but again, it can come into a form of housing grants. It can come into a form of helping Black businesses. It can go into getting more grants and loans for black businesses. It can go into HBCUs. There are many different facets that we can morph reparations into besides just giving somebody $150,000. It's more than just a check. Reparations is more than just a check. And not only that, if we have, again, the nation building thing, the problem that I have with that is that we're going to have to deal with other groups of people. So
right now.
So what's the point of nation building if you running into the same exact problem?
The point of nation building is you control your own destiny, your infrastructure, your roads. You control.
We live in a global economy. Like,
okay, yes, but you still control your own country.
Is that true? Like, is that really true? We have the United States government has insurgents. We have literally.
White man is Thanos.
Is that not the truth?
White man is Thanos. The white man. Here we go. The white man.
The Black Legion.
But these are okay. Rwanda. There are so many facts of his. They literally went into Europe, divided Europe. They had their own countries, right? Like, white people have already done that. We should be in a position of power in the strongest country in the world. That would set an entire precedent for every black person on planet Earth.
Here we go, jockeying for position under white.
Okay, if black people if black people had real power in America, every black person on the planet would be a little bit safer. Is that not true?
Bruh, again, the reason why you own is so you control your own infrastructure, you control everything. So you don't have to go to Amber Guyger and ask for permission to for anything.
Again, when we talk about Africa, not only a few people in Africa really control a lot of the assets. A lot of the people don't have assets. They don't have a lot of the assets. We keep talking about community. Unfortunately, capitalism is everywhere. So isn't there like a Nigerian billionaire who's worth like 16, 18 billion? Like, unfortunately, there's hard capitalism in every part of the planet. And there's going to be a socio-economic status for every people.
Bruce, what does that have to do with you controlling your own electric grid, your own infrastructure, your own roads? That has nothing. That's what we're talking about. Controlling your own destiny.
Again, you talk about companies and individual companies. You think that means it's for everybody. Unfortunately, everybody does not get the wins from that. Yeah, you might get electricity, but at the end of the day, you still have to pay for that. Unless everybody, you literally talking about an entire free system devoid of capitalism.
No, we're not, man.
We're saying you can put capital in our country, but we're going to be the beneficiaries of it. You ain't going to exploit. You know what I'm saying? And take. You're going to put in, and you're going to reinvest in whatever we have to do. You know, we're not stupid here. Look at join the Black African Infrastructure Organization and see. We got blogs, and I've been doing blogs for years. I'm gonna start doing some more, but I will spell this out. What type of economic system we can build? You know. So we do a little bit of capitalism, a little bit of socialism.
Hold on, Bruce.
Show me an African country that doesn't have poor people. Show me any country on planet Earth that doesn't have poor people.
Into misery merchant. Oh, okay, Bruce. Do black people in America control America's infrastructure? Yes or no?
A dirt road.
Do we control America's infrastructure? Yes or no?
We have to. We don't.
Okay, we don't. The Rwandan black country, they control their infrastructure. Now they might pay people to come build it, but they control it.
Is that really control?
They maintain it.
Okay, dude. Oh, God.
It's been a long night.
Alfonso, you got the final say, Alfonso.
There's so many corrupt leaders in Africa, dog. Like, unfortunately, like the global economy is not going.
Alfonso, he doesn't get it. Alfonso,
y'all literally talking against the global economy.
Like I said, I appreciate ADOS and some, a lot of the things that they say. I do agree with some of their points, but like I said, they're rehatching a mode of operation that failed us, more than anything. That led us on this path for destruction. And I just want Bruce, I want thank Yahuwah for taking my call, chopping it up with Khaled, chopping it up with Bruce. I think, like I said, it needs to be a lot more studying, because again, with that type of thinking, we're gonna we're gonna build something else on another sand dune, and it's gonna wash away what you
We've
see
already built
when the
America.
tide came in. So we just need to go back and just do more research. We can't do no more progress on saying we got to think about the kids and the grandkids. So if you really about generational wealth, then you not supporting no integration. You not supporting nothing that's not talking about controlling your own destiny, which is a sovereign of your own. I mean, that's what America's about. Ain't no freedom without no land.
Again,
it just don't work like that. That's not the real world. You know what I'm saying? So
Alfonso, what it is, ADOS wants to tap into white America's manifest destiny. And they swear
America is built for
they want to be partners. You know, MAGA
partners with the white America's manifest destiny.
Yep.
We built white America. We are old everything. We're not trying to tap into something. We're trying to tap into what we built. What confusion is it?
America goes to Mars. ADOS will be up there with him.
No, it would not be. That's just literally your opinion. That's literally your opinion.
Right to Mars, bro.
So okay, so Bruce, have you ever had in history? Can I ask you this? Have you ever had in history where a group of people have been used and abused to build up another people's group of resources, and they were always compensated? Are you going to try to say that it's never been no people in Earth that's been in history that's been done unjustly and have always been compensated?
But should they fight for their compensation?
You can fight all you want.
Okay, so if you've been used and abused, and you literally saying, well, I just took a loss and that's not how any of that works.
No, we're not saying we're trying to get you to understand is that our relationship with the U.S. government is different than any other people. We looking at it from a victim standpoint. We looking at it from a victim. The U.S. government is looking at it from a power position. So they saying we're not going to allow a people to come up among us to have this relationship with us and empower them. We might if you look at the 60s, we joined with Muslim nations that they end up fighting. They ended up fighting the Muslim nations. We was being Muslims. We was trying to go and be things that objected to U.S. policy, and they understand that you can't let a people that you have abused and used and let them grow up amongst your midst, because they might join with a people you clashing with and overtake you. This is how this government is dealing with. They drawing up how,
bro. They're not gonna let that happen, you know. And they got us right where they want us.
So what are we going again? This all goes back to reparations. We still have to do something about it. Yeah, they're not going to let that. Of course. So, but we still have to fight for it. No question.
Oh, like I said, Bruce, I think
they didn't want to end slavery.
Hold on, Bruce. I think you missed a point, right? Reparations come from the vanquished, right? You're defeated in war. You're in rubbles. And by gunboat, by planes bombing on you, atom bomb, whatever like that, you're going to sign the ceasefire, this treaty to end the war. Part of the war is the like I said, to the victor belongs the spoils. Have you ever heard that term, Bruce? To the victor belongs the spoils. It's not to the victor, may he share the spoils with the vanquished. You know, to the victor.
So Bruce, basically, because our bones are buried here, white people need to share their partner with us in their manifest destiny.
Yeah, again, bones is a part of it, but at the end of the day, we built literally railroads, cities. We built the White House. We built Washington D.C. Unfortunately, it's not just bones. We can actually understand through history what we've built and what has been destroyed. It's not just bones. We've built America. We're old America. It's just that simple.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, the white people's gonna hate.
Well, I would say good luck going to this good white man. Good luck going to this good white man that treats us so fairly and getting there. That's all I can say.
We fought for everything that we have. We fought for it. Unfortunately, good luck to going to any African country.
Here we go. Bruce, are you ready to bleed and die for reparations?
If it came down to it, of course.
Are you ready to lead the charge?
Are you ready to rise up?
And rise up on the White House and take back the White House that we built? Are you ready, Bruce?
If everybody was on code, I would be ready.
Okay, so you're waiting on everybody else to get on code.
Yeah,
we cannot have confusion. There cannot be no division. When it came to civil rights, everybody was on code. And they
And
did.
that's not true. Everybody wasn't down for civil rights. It was people that spoke up against civil rights and black power at that time.
Okay. But when they were boycotting them buses, everybody in that city was on code.
No, actually, bro, you study history. Majority of black people told Martin Luther King he need to mind his business.
He did, and that's true. That's true.
There was far more black people with Martin Luther King than against him. Unfortunately, that's literally history.
Bruce, focus. Are you ready? You,
of course.
2080 charge the White House, storm.
Yeah, your girl ready to rise up.
Again, you need
rise up.
White House back here and rise up and storm the.
We're gonna take our land back, man.
Are y'all gonna fight for African stand? Huh? Where African stand at?
Oh, man.
Y'all silly niggas need to go to bed.
You ADOS people need to call in more often. After this show tonight,
where's the blood fight for going into Africa and trying to fight for land? Are you willing to do that?
Oh, well, we can't reveal our plans.
I'm about to go get some land when I go back in November.
Okay, we talking individualism. What about the millions of other people? Africa can't withstand like 40 million black people going into Africa.
You said you're gonna go to Washington D.C.
and rise up. You're gonna rise up.
Rise up.
Confusion. There's so much confusion in this world.
You're gonna storm the White House.
You're gonna bomb rush the White House.
No, you should just do it politically. Like we should get black people who are on code into positions of power, and that will be far more effective. And that's what ADOS is about.
Are you gonna do that between your coffee breaks at Starbucks or what?
I mean, you can do it with your vote. You literally making a mockery of black people getting rights and justice. You literally making a mockery of your own history.
It's not about making a mockery. You had to understand that the U.S. government countered all those moves, sir. We that was built on sand. That was built on things that could be snatched away at any time. That's what y'all not understanding what we're talking about. We're trying to say let's build something on cement that won't be usurped in the couple generations.
Where is that going to take place? There is no country that's going to allow you to do that. You do understand that, right?
Don't worry about that.
Hey, Bruce, so you gotta raise. Hey, Bruce, so you guys gotta raise.
When we do get that land,
hold on. Hey, so Bruce, you guys are gonna raise the American flag.
Oh yeah, you're gonna charge us again with the American flag.
We're Americans. Are you American? Like y'all have a disassociation of your own identity. Unfortunately,
you're gonna bomb rush the White House with the American flag. You know, as a true American.
Y'all making a mockery of your own history.
Oh no, man! Y'all ADOS Negroes are crazy, man.
You literally people who fought in the Civil War, black people who fought for your own justice. Like, what are you talking about?
ADOS is MAGA. I knew it. ADOS is MAGA.
So when black people were fighting against the southern states, holding the American flag for freedom, that's literally the same thing that you're saying?
I'll give a pass.
You're literally saying they were foolish to do that.
In the 54th Infantry, the Black Report. So I'll give a pass.
You're literally saying that your ancestors fighting for freedom was foolish.
No, I said I respect them. What they did, why they knew they had to choose a side. They joined the Union. You know, but ain't no respect for no black man in 2019. You talking about MAGA, you know?
Nobody in ADOS agrees with MAGA. That's why we haven't went to Donald Trump talking about reparations. You do understand that, right?
MAGA. I think you guys are using that as cover because you guys are really MAGA.
I mean, you literally trolling, dude. Stop, man.
Y'all are MAGA.
Y'all trolling right now because again, everything I'm saying it's common sense. It's literally common. Do you agree with reparations? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what issue? There should be no issues then. You should be on with us. You should be like, ADOS are old reparations. It's just that simple. Not being on. This is what I mean by you're not on code. Y'all are not on code. Listen, y'all are for reparations.
I agree with reparations. I don't agree with militantly integrating with Amber Guyger. That's what I don't agree with. I'm not sharing I'm not asking Zaddy, hey, can I get in with your manifest destiny? That's what
Unfortunately, just like y'all said, we're gonna have to deal with white people. We're gonna have to deal with, if we build an African stand, we're gonna have to deal with any African people on that land. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. We're gonna have to deal with Amber Guyger.
But do you understand the difference between dealing with a people from a position of your own of your own homogeny versus dealing
They
with
don't think we're
people
Africans. I
as
can
a loosely-
attest to that off the bat. This whole path, we're not Africans. They
I'm
will
not
tell you
pushing
you're
that
not.
agenda. Hold on, but is nationalism a African only concept, sir? Wasn't America built on people?
They literally
what
have.
the story they tell.
I literally
The
know
story they
somebody
tell
from
is that they
Ghana,
weren't
and
getting getting whatever they was needing in Europe.
He's from the Ga tribe, and he literally said there's division with the Trey tribe. They have divisions within their own country. What are you talking about?
Okay, let's leave Africa out of it.
Okay.
Leave Africa out of it. Go ahead.
Because the thing about it is that, for one, nationalism is not no African only concept, for one, and then for two,
they literally
you're in a nation.
You're
in a separatist nation. No, you're in a nation where the people, for whatever reasons, weren't getting whatever they was getting in Europe, and they came over here and started their own thing and separated from the British crown to do their own thing, because they feel like we don't have our own homogeny. We can't control ourselves. We paying taxes and being under a group of people that's not doing the best thing for us. And that's the same thing we saying. We saying that, listen, we trying to be aligned, to be loyal to somebody that is leading us into our very destruction before our own eyes.
We're not trying to be loyal to white people. Like you're
being loyal
white
to their
people,
society, sir. You're being loyal to their society. That's what
we're
that
not
is.
being
You
loyal
don't want some of your own.
Reparations is literally not being loyal. If we were loyal to
we've already.
Alfonso, you're mistaken. He's gonna get the American flag. They're gonna leave Starbucks, and they're gonna rise up in charge.
Okay.
Of the White House with the American flag.
So, here's the confusion I'm seeing with y'all. Here's the confusion. You literally associating America with only white people. We've been here the entire time. We are just as American. Hold up, we're just as American as any white person.
Gets it.
So
majority gets it.
So
before it was even that's our flag.
Society.
This is our flag.
Let me let you in on a joke. Have you got black people who do this, right? Played the game. We did that to survive. When we go to our job, right? White man cracks a joke one night. Hey, Mr. Charlie, hi. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, when the white man, when we having the 4th of July, whatever like that, you better be out there with your American flag. You better have that in front of your house. We do that to survive, Negro. That's what it is. You know, we don't have any real, but white people know we don't really care. But in front of them, like when the national anthem, when you run the football down the court, you better respect that flag. You know what I'm saying?
It's our flag.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They don't care about what you think, but when the time comes, you better have that hand on that heart. And this thing, that's all they require from you. You know, but they don't care about whether. And then some black people like you actually believe you're Americans.
We are Americans.
I mean, you really believe that. More power to you.
You associating America with only white people. You think that white Americans are the definition of what an American is.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
This is basically a son of the cousin countries that they come from. What do you mean? It's Christianity is the religion. We speak in English. What is a dialect of the crown. This is a cousin nation of their ancestors. This don't have anything to do with us.
If that was the case, then America wouldn't exist. They would be like Canada. They would be literally a satellite of Europe. They're our own country.
You had a revolution to separate from the British crown. That's what I'm saying. This is a separatist nation, a nation that's separated to do their own thing. So we're saying that since the interest of this place has never been in our best interest, you said before how we was redlined, how our communities was burnt down, how they also flooded our communities with drugs, how they had Operation Paperclip and all these things that they COINTELPRO, where they conspired against us to destroy us. We're just saying, okay, if you want to give us this money, we can give it, but we gonna go so we can go do something. No, it's no more tricks. There's no more building stuff on sand so they can snatch it away when they get ready.
Okay, so shouldn't we get into a position of power to stop all that?
Nation state for African America on the African continent. That would solve the thing problem.
No, running is not going to solve it.
African country to build new cities and states, towns, everything for a new African nation. You know what I'm saying? For African Americans, if they want to go.
We cannot run from America. Again, unfortunately, like there's nowhere to run to, and that's the confusion. Like y'all keep talking about.
Hey, so
And
here we
if
go.
this is our country, why are they inviting other groups over here to
Why they inviting us over?
the groups that y'all say y'all don't like? Why are they inviting these groups over here to be over us? Why is Spanish a second
Why are
language
they coming over here to be over us? You keep talking about like there's a reason why they coming over here to be over us.
The U.S. government. Listen, the U.S. government did that to usurp all that. That was one of the methods to usurp all that.
So shouldn't we try to get power in the United States government?
Sir, we've been trying. We got more elected officials than at any time in our history here.
They're not on code.
No. Actually, we had more elected officials, I want to say, right after slavery.
Well, no, in aggregate, yeah. But I'm talking about based on population, we have the highest number since the 1960s. Where thousands of black people got elected to office, you know? Because we have the highest number of elected officials, and things are getting worse. The more black elected officials, the more crime, poverty, and dysfunction. Look at Gary, Indiana. All these places, black elected officials.
I'm from Indiana.
Huh? See, I can see. Well, I can see the case. I can see why you wanted reparations. Indiana, they say Indiana's the worst state in the country. You know, it says the worst state in the country. Now I understand. Yeah. I hope you do get the reparations.
I mean, again, the politicians that we have are not on code. That's off the key.
So I would strongly suggest
you got Sheila Jackson Lee, you got Lovey, who's Nigerian, literally wrote a paper against reparations.
Nigeria's fault. Here we go. No,
I'm literally giving out a specific. Again, it's not the fact that she's specifically Nigerian. It's the fact that she came over here undermining us. Why are they coming over here undermining?
Listen, the African immigrant does not show up and sit in a powwow and talk about how we're going to undermine the black American.
But mentally they have the mentality of an immigrant. Like, oh, y'all don't work hard. Oh, y'all are lazy. That's a mentality.
Okay, Bruce. Say some do, just a small amount. Say some do. You think that's going to stop Dinas Demir from getting his grizzy iron on and do what he needs to do?
It can lead to confusion.
Oh, God.
If you get into a position of power like Candace Owens, like Sheila Jackson Lee, it leads to confusion.
She's not ADOS?
I didn't say I'm ADOS. Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah, her parents are Caribbean. So
exactly. Candace Owens is Caribbean. They are in positions of power who are not ADOS, telling ADOS who we are, and that's the first problem off the gate. They need to be on code with us, not against us.
Honestly, man, you know something, man. You know, I think I'll pick this something. I was trying to say so nice way, but our people are just so beaten down, man. I wish you guys ADOS for people to find some peace. To tell you the truth,
trolling.
Find some peace somewhere and everything like that. But I feel for you guys are going down the road.
We're old reparations. It's just that simple.
We all understand that, man.
So there should be no division off the cuff. There should be no division.
Listen. We're old reparations, but I'm not about to walk around with no American flag.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like,
it's your history.
It's not my flag.
I mean, you got your ancestors, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Frederick Douglass. It's your history. So you want to deny your own history because some white man beat you down. That's insanity. You should be proud of that. You should be proud of Frederick Douglass. You should be proud of Fred Hampton. You should be proud of W.E. Du Bois. Mary McLeod Bethune. You should be proud of your ancestors who had the American flag. It's just that simple.
So number one, W.E. Du Bois left America to go to Ghana. Martin Luther King said himself he regrets integrating us into a burning house.
But what did he say after that?
He said, "I will get to the promised land. I may not get there with you, but we as a people get to the promised land."
What he said was we should become firemen and put out the fire. That's exactly what he said.
I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but
that's what Martin Luther King said.
Promised land. He was talking about Black America. He said, "Yo, look, man, after all the suffering and everything, he didn't see any future." He said, "We gotta have a nation."
Malcolm X went to Africa and he literally told us they don't want to deal with the Negro problem. They have their own problem.
That's true. And Malcolm X went over there.
Come on, bro.
He said he formed the OAAU and he said we're gonna basically start a technology pool between African Americans and Africans, and we're gonna be able to build Africa by giving opportunity on both sides of the Atlantic. That's what.
So why don't we have dual citizenship? If it's really if it's really Pan Africans, why don't we have these tangible? These are tangibles. We don't have tangible.
Diane, show him your passport, Diane.
It's upstairs.
Diane's got dual citizenship.
Okay, so bro, if you want dual citizenship, just get your African. You can get your. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna tell you how to get dual citizenship. So number one,
We should all be given dual citizenship automatically.
to which country?
We from every country because it's raping and all of that. We from I got DNA from Nigeria, Congo, Senegal. Like, how can you part that into like, oh, well, we should just go to Nigeria?
Let me ask you this: have you been to any of those countries yet?
Of course, no, I'm not.
Okay, all right. Okay,
You got to first go to the country before you come
So if they cared about us, why wouldn't they come to us and be like, okay, yeah, we owe y'all dual citizenship? There is Pan-Africanism doesn't exist in Africa. You do understand that, right?
Half the population living on $25 a month. They ain't got time to come to see our dusty asses and whatnot.
Oh, so you basically saying African standard is impossible?
No, it's not impossible. It's very possible.
Well, they got to care. They living on $25. How can they care about us?
But they're not their priority. Our priority.
So their priority is themselves, right?
He's putting money into Nigeria. We
Okay.
got more people open up
Confusion.
We got African Americans investing on the continent. I got a partner of mine that's doing big business on the continent. You know what I'm saying? We're putting money into the continent, investing in the continent.
No, a few people are, and they're getting rewards. The majority of us are not going to have any benefits of that.
Majority can stay right here
because it's capitalism.
Majority can stay right here. When we need them right here, right where they're at. You know, we want the best and brightest to go to the continent and help build.
Listen, if I'll give you an example. So in Sierra Leone, if you could prove via DNA test that you're connected to one of the tribes of Sierra Leone, they'll give you citizenship.
So why doesn't every country do that? Okay, I'm happy for that. That's cool. So every country should do that, and we should get citizenship in every country.
No, but I'm gonna tell you why. Because the majority of us are not serious. So and I'm gonna give you an example for you, Bruce. They
owe it to us. They traded our ancestors to slaves.
Everybody owes you something.
Hold on, Bruce.
Bruce.
You're demanding citizenship, but you haven't even been to the continent yet.
Yeah.
Because they sold our ancestors into slavery.
What's that got to do with getting a passport and go?
Yeah, when you're ready to forgive America, they bought and sold.
Yeah, but
that's I'm talking about citizenship. I ain't talking about passport. If there was really unity with Africans, they should try to help us out. They could easily stop trading with the United States and be like, until African American ADOS people get reparations, we're not going to trade with the United States. Is that not on code? Would that not be on code?
Do that. I'll be the first to tell Africans when you keep doing what you gotta do.
It's one-sided.
Don't worry about these dusty reparations, Negro.
It's one-sided. That's the problem that you have. You're not understanding. It's all one-sided. You're dependent upon somebody else when it should be codependent.
No, you're dependent on somebody because you're sitting around. You and that vet are sitting around saying we can't. Robert Smith was no good. Jay Morris no good. We just sit around waiting for the white man. You know,
galvanizing African Americans for reparations. Confused.
So you're mad at the African for selling you into slavery in quotation marks, but you want to
trade it.
Okay, but you want to. We have no issue partnering with the white man in joining his manifest destiny.
It's not a partnership. Asking, like going to court asking for a debt isn't a partnership. I don't know what confusion that there is. That's not you using the wrong word. That's not partnership.
Partner. Okay. So say they give us the debt back. They give us the debt. All those taxes are going to go toward that we pay are going to go towards his manifest destiny. He's going to get it right back. That's why. Well, the brother's off the show now, but it's just it doesn't add up. So he gives you your check. You stay here in America. You pay your taxes. It goes back to his manifest destiny in the form of taxes.
So shouldn't we get into a position of power to alter that?
Have a nation state. Have an African set up.
Again, a nation state. There are logistical problems to that. As in, who's going to
put the money in? You know, a city state. They build them all over the world.
City state. America has sovereignty over every piece of land in the 50 states. There is never going to be a city state.
No, I'm
Off
not
the
talking
bat.
about in America. I'm talking about on the African continent, on African soil.
And what African country is going to do that? We can't even get dual citizenship. But you expect a nation? Come on, bro.
Nigerians,
People are getting dual citizenship. What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? You know?
You talking one country. We got DNA from all of Africa, do we not?
Yeah, you guys are not serious. Okay, that's what it comes down to.
No, African people are not serious about Pan-Africanism. That's the issue.
About nation building and having land and nation state, Africans will respond. And that's what we're trying to do with the BAIO.
But when we created Liberia, there was automatic civil war in.
Well, no, it wasn't. No, I'm the historian of Liberia. I'll do a Liberia show with Dynasty.
Please do it.
So we don't. Liberia's more complex.
Bruce, let me just give you the hard reality, and I'm gonna close out.
Yeah.
ADOS will never be put in a position of power here in America. It's not gonna.
That's why we had to credit ourselves.
How? By charging the White House with American flags.
Again, we have to do whatever it takes. We done fought for to end slavery. We done fought to get civil rights.
Oh, in 2019, these computers, laptops, smartphones. Ain't nobody rising up. Okay, no one's gonna rise.
Politically, you can. That's ADOS is literally rising up politically, giving out knowledge and understanding. That's called rising up. It's literally Fred Hampton. All right.
Ain't no Fred Hampton in the ADOS 2019 group. Stop it.
Okay. But rising up politically, is that not rising up, getting a political understanding?
No.
All right. So you talking about violence, and it's not all about violence.
Dude, listen, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. In fact, here we go. Bruce, I bet you $500 that after the election, I want everybody to watch this. This is being recorded. I bet you. Okay, what are you trying to accomplish, Bruce? You want reparations and what else?
We want a system of justice. That's all we should.
I bet you $500 2 years from now there will be Amber Guygers of the world are going to do whatever they want. Black men are still going to get arrested for marijuana in states that marijuana is legal. The majority of the prison system, even though black people are 13% of the country, is going to be majority black. I bet you $500, all the knowledge and reading and all that's still going to be in place here in America. $500.
And again, the only way that's going to be in place if we don't get on code. That none of that should stop us from fighting for reparations.
Bruce, take the bet.
Of course, that's going to happen.
When?
That's a silly bet.
When?
What are you talking about? 2 years from now? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. So two years from now, black people are going to get justice.
No, of course not. We've been fighting for justice for 400 years. Nobody's saying that. That's just, again, we have to fight. We have to continuously fight until we get a system of justice.
How about your own system of government?
You can't
What'd
do
you
that.
say?
How about your own system of government?
No, you can't do that.
On your own land.
Okay. And how do we do that by ourselves?
Bro, man, like I said,
No African country is going to help us out with that.
Black African infrastructure has been laying this out for years. It can be done. All we need is enough black people to get serious. And all you ADOS people are is a distraction. You guys are sick with freaking sabotage.
Here we go. I'm about everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm about to go to bed. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm tired too, man.
Confusion.
Yeah, until next time, family.
Well, Dynus, thanks a lot for having me, Dynus.
No problem.
Audience, I love you all, man. You guys were great.
Go to dynastymirror.com, family. Until next time.
And BAIO, African.com. Check out the college Genesis.
Confusion.
Y'all stupid as hell.
Yeah, we love it.
That's my girlfriend. She mad, but at the end of the day.